Hi guys, this is Jean Holden, producer of the show, and I just wanted to take a minute to let you know where you can find us on the internet. Please go to ThatMan on Fatman.com. There you can find out all the things you need to know about the show. You'll be able to find links to the podcast, to YouTube, to Twitter, Facebook, even Instagram and Snapchat. Thank you so much for listening, guys, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Today's show is brought to you by Death Wish Coffee. Death Wish Coffee, the strongest coffee in the world.
This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, and I want to urge you to make a generous donation to the Wayne Foundation so we can stop the sexual trafficking of children. Do it, or I'll find you.
And don't forget to check out our good friend of the show, Mark Live, over at chundertunes.com for all your podcast animation needs. ThatMan on Fatman is recorded with a Zoom H6 handy recorder. Zoom for creators.
Disclaimer. The show you're about to experience is for entertainment purposes only. The hosts use mature language and conversation just like in most of life. If you're too uptight, this might not be for you. All that said, we really do hope you enjoy the show. But if you don't enjoy it, expect a nice big shipment of my joyous Joker juice on your doorstep in the very near future. Toodles!
Yes, please note that use of all sound effects is done ironically.
Ooh-ah. You are listening to ThatMan on Fatman with Scott and Jean Holden, and they, trust me, have a great ass.
As the world's biggest Kevin Smith fan, I appreciate the fact that somebody finally made a podcast about that interesting motherfucker. So yes, you absolutely did the right thing.
Okay, what has two thumbs and is a huge fan of Kevin Smith? ThatMan!
Scott, who does ThatMan on Fatman podcast.
Yeah.
Ooh-ah.
Well, once upon a time, just a regular man read a book written by the Fat Man. Tough shit written by old Kev Smith.
Ooh-ah. ThatMan on Fatman.
Kev said go out and start a podcast, and so I did, and I had a real blast. But my obsession was driving my co-host nuts.
Who is he? He's that man. He's talking.
Didn't want to bring the podcast down. Needed Pork Chop Murphy to hang around.
Go get him, that man.
So I created a show with one heck of a plan, and I call that show ThatMan on Fatman.
ThatMan on Fatman.
Go get him, that man.
We're gonna talk about Kevin Smith.
ThatMan on Fatman. ThatMan on Fatman.
Go get him, that man.
We're gonna talk about Kevin Smith.
Go get him, that man.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to this episode 4-16. Yes, we're back in numerical order. 4-16 of ThatMan on Fatman. I am Scott Holden. Here with me in that cave is none other than co-host and producer extraordinaire, Jean Holden.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, girl. Hi.
And today, it's a holiday weekend as we record this, the end of the holiday weekend. We'll be dropping this on Monday evening, Labor Day, a very important day for those who give labor.
Yes. They're given a day.
You can thank a 5-day work week and a 40-hour work week for labor, organizing labor.
They're given a day off to, think about their how grateful they are to be.
Yes, indeed.
Able to work.
Yes, and there is all kinds of labor that can be added to the scene. One could consider their comedy stylings that of a labor.
Yeah, well, it doesn't just...
Labor traditionally is a Greek word associated with heroes. I don't know if you realize that, because to be a hero, one must suffer. This is the classical, and I enjoy dishing out suffering to humans. And lately I find that the most effective means of doing that is through my stand-up comedy. Yes, indeed.
That's torture for people.
You must know me. I'm Bane. No, not that Bane, but that Bane. Yes, that Bane, indeed. I am here to give you my intellectual observations, is really more of my speed.
What have you been observing?
I've noticed that I actually have a bit of a rash on the back of my knee. It's been a pesky little experience, but, prickly heat, I believe, or something of that nature.
You have to put a little ointment on there.
Yes. And indeed, I'm doing all this in lieu of the fact that I believe there is no Smedlines on this holiday experience. This is called a Dave Letterman Network time killer. For those who are going way back in the Wayback Machine today, I'm pulling an obscure reference from about 1988. Yes. An 88 reference. Yo.
God, Bane, you're really digging.
I'm down with it, dog.
Yeah, this week there is no Smedlines.
Oh, it makes sense because I'm wearing my funky, fresh red Pumas here. Red suede Pumas.
They're red suede.
God.
Yep.
I'm far cooler than any of you kids.
So this week, Bane will be taking the place of the Smedlines. Very light holiday weekend. So.
And there you have the Smedlines.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, Bane.
That guy's a pain in the ass.
Good job.
There you go. Network time killers, everybody.
Good job.
Quite a pull. Quite a pull. That's right. Dave Letterman's Network Time Killers. Quite a classic.
Oh, my God. But you were a huge David Letterman fan.
I was back then, yeah.
You were huge.
I mean, the way it worked was I would videotape it. I was a time shifter.
Yeah.
I would videotape that. I would basically set it up to record 11:30 to 1:30 in the morning.
Right.
Which was Johnny Carson. And then Letterman.
That's so cute. Johnny Carson, too. I never really watched that.
I wasn't as much into Carson back then. I mean, I guess I kind of saw him as the old guard, and I really saw Letterman as my speed, but I would watch him because, one, you had his monologue was always good. And, if there was a good guest, it was very guest dependent. A lot of the Johnny Carson, for me at that time, got fast forwarded through. But
it wasn't until you got older that you could appreciate him.
Yeah.
Because he really was an icon.
Yeah. That I understood
brilliant timing,
the longevity.
Yucca.
And that he really created that. The monologue really all goes back to him.
He really did. He had a certain way, and people do it that same way.
Yeah.
Even like the physical part of it, the way they walk in with their hands.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty.
Very.
Everybody's kind of doing Carson in that respect.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. So he's paved the way.
Yes.
Kudos to you, sir. And
so I watched a lot of.
Rest in peace.
I watched a lot of. So I'd come home from high school, and I'd throw it on, and I'd watch the night before.
Yeah.
It was a ritual.
Right.
So.
I watched MTV a lot, but I guess that was just the day,
the
time.
Yeah. And I mean, as a result of, David Letterman, I learned, like the first time I saw Kinnison. All that stuff. And then in the morning was all Howard Stern time. So.
Yeah. And all those comics, you're right. That's where a lot of those comics came on, David Letterman.
Yeah.
Wow.
And of course, Johnny Carson.
And Johnny Carson as well, yeah.
But I'll never forget the first time I saw Kinnison on Letterman, because he did that thing where he went up to a guy in the audience. He's like, what's your name? Lou? Next time, if you're going to get married, I want you to remember this face. Right in the guy's face.
Yeah. And he actually did it, right?
Yeah, it was one of those moments, man. Like, wow, this guy's a genius.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but there was that Johnny Carson documentary that you actually put on that one day. That was really, really good.
That was a good documentary.
People should check it out if you like to kind of check out more of Johnny Carson and his.
Well, speaking of documentaries,
yes,
that's a good way to segue into our today's guest, because our guest today, you as someone who's very involved in the documentary that we're making.
That's still real. It's for realsies.
He was one of the cameramen, and now he's actually in the editing suite.
He really is. He's working hard in that.
Yeah.
In that realm. Yes.
And you'll hear us touch on that as we talk.
Yes.
But really, the other thing that this audience knows him from is he works on the set of the Marvel Netflix shows, quite a few of them. This, as we'll explain, will be his last one for a little bit, like a complete one. But he's got some great announcements that will allow him to make at the beginning of this interview. But it's all good stuff for him. Exciting. And in some weird way, it's like good stuff for us.
Yeah.
Anything.
Because he's a friend.
He's our buddy, and we're involved in projects together, and
And good things are happening.
Yes. So we don't want to keep too much. And so the next big thing I should say before we start the interview is spoilers. If you have not watched Marvel Netflix, The Defenders show.
Yes.
And probably many of the shows up to that, because we probably, hit little details from those shows.
We definitely touch on each one.
This is a spoiler show, so if you're not into the Marvel Netflix galaxy, you're not caught up, or if you're thinking it's something you want to get into but haven't started it yet, skip this show.
Right.
Because we're going to go deep into Michael's reflections of the what he remembers during the shows. Right. I kind of go episode by episode.
That's a good idea. I like that.
Yeah, and I figure with 8 episodes,
makes sense.
It's a good way to cover stuff. And I didn't want to miss like that one actress that we talked about.
Yeah.
And I just also remember when we watched them, there were moments where I said, "Oh, I got to remember to ask Michael about that," and I still don't know if I got them all.
I know,
but
there are some cool.
This is if you're into those shows, here we go. We're gonna, and another perspective about this is, it's someone more at the ground floor, someone more in the, the real day-to-day operations of bringing one of these shows to life.
Right, and when he looks at a scene, he remembers like being in the room and making it look like the way it looks.
He's a set dresser, so that means
isn't that cool? So he puts
but actually,
everything.
There's some other stuff going on there too.
There's a lot of cool shit going on.
Yeah,
so. If you haven't seen it, watch it and then listen to the podcast.
Then you can listen to this. And it's only 8 episodes, so like in 7 hours or so, you can...
we did it, and I even got to go shopping in between, so it worked.
Yes, and Jean...
It was totally great.
Yeah, we took
I loved it.
We paused at episode 4, I think.
Yeah, you needed to take a little break in between, like halfway through, and then you're good.
You didn't need to. She wanted to. But anyway.
If you do, it's good. It still works.
This actually goes down a lot smoother than...
It does.
Many of the other seasons, because it is a shorter run, and because they knew that. They sort of said, we're going to make this more action driven, more, I liked it. I love the fact, I think they should start to think about shortening the seasons.
Right. Well, and it makes you want to go back
and watch. It just digests it. You can just digest it a lot.
Right.
Cuts out some of the chuffa.
It makes you want to go back and watch, either rewatch or, because there's some that I haven't seen, to tell you the truth. But if you rewatch, it makes you either want to rewatch or just watch what you haven't seen. So it was definitely enjoyable. I liked it.
So most of our review is actually also encaged in this episode. I mean, we liked it. So it's all positive from our end. Any little. Like, there's a couple of things that I noticed that I could I'll point out in here, which I come out to be more funny, I think, in our discussion than critical.
Well, and there's characters that I like better in this than I do separate.
Yeah,
it's
cool.
That
happens a lot.
It's
in
a
an
really
ensemble.
cool. Like, the dynamic is great. Yeah. The dynamic just brings out certain parts of the character.
All right, so this is our Defender show, as promised, with Michael Joseph Consolmagno, our friend, our editor, our
DP.
DP, and also just moving up the ranks in the
all
world
around
here.
mensch, yes.
So here we go, without any further delay.
Michael Joseph Consolmagno.
And now, here's our guest.
All right, everybody. I'm so thrilled because every time we do this, it's always a fun episode for me. If you guys enjoy it, that's even more of a bonus. But once again, so you guys know we're working on a documentary, and along the way, we met a great gentleman named Michael Consolmagno. And as it turns out, he is he works as a set dresser on many of the Marvel Netflix shows. And it's maybe the last Marvel Netflix show we get to do with him for a little bit, because he's doing some other stuff too. So we'll talk about that. But welcome to the show. Michael Consolmagno. We're going to talk about Defenders. Are you there, sir?
Very good. Yeah, this is my last, for the foreseeable future, this is my last full run on a Marvel show. I did do the first 4 episodes of Jessica Season 2.
Okay.
And I'm about to join the effects team on Luke Season 2, and they're shooting episode 7.
Oh, that's a whole different thing, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's a whole new world. It's my union is when you're a set dresser, you're actually part of the prop. Your card says prop.
Okay.
And in New York, the way the New York local runs is there's 4 different departments in the art department that your card handles. You could be a member of the prop team, which I've done on shows like Gotham.
All right, listen up, folks. This is all very important stuff. If you want to, this is real show business stuff.
This is real. I mean, people like a backside look. It could be boring to people that already know this, but there's so much. There's so much.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't know this.
Yes. So when you work in the local 52, which is the union in New York that handles this, and you work as a property person, which is what my technical title is, there are 4 different departments that you can work for. The prop department proper, which is anything an actor touches, such as handguns or food. Or you can work in the set dressing department, which I have been doing for the Marvel department, which is basically getting the sets ready for them to shoot, restoring continuity while they shoot.
So like background and that kind of thing?
Yes, yeah, like okay. Artwork and tables and chairs and anything the actor doesn't touch, I guess you can call it. Even handyman stuff like tiling a bathroom wall, putting flooring down, ceiling, etc.
Gotcha.
Then there's the greens department, which is basically set dressing but with plants.
Yeah, all the plants. Yeah.
And then there is the effects department, which speaks for itself. If anybody is a movie buff, they know the effects team are the guys that blow stuff up. But
you're talking physical effects, not digital.
Physical effects. Yes, not digital effects. So this would be the practical effects team falls under my department as well.
There you go. Wow, that's a big boost kind of thing.
Yeah, they pay a little better. So it's a specialty type field. It's a very shallow field, meaning there's not as much work for practical effects men. But I'm happy to be invited on board to the Luke Cage effects team, at least for a little while.
God, yeah, you'll be blowing up a lot of shit.
And we'll have fun. I will be actually beginning with them tomorrow. So
because every time he hits something, I'm sure something's blowing up.
Yes, or there's wire work, or there's a reset that has to happen with an air gun or something of that nature.
Wow, so you're moving up in the world, sir. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's interesting you said that because since we've talked before we dive into Defenders, the reason why I did leave Marvel is I was offered a position as a second, which is a second in command, I guess, under a lead man, which as lead man is the set dressing boss.
Okay.
And I got offered a second position on a show called Mozart in the Jungle, which is an Amazon show. It's in its 4th season.
Okay.
The pay.
They got a ton of shit on there that you don't even realize. Even Netflix now is getting so because we had Phil Hendry on last episode and he was like F is for Family. Now F is for Family just came on my radar.
Yeah.
And it's because it's the 3rd season. And it put it in my queue. It's like, hey, you would like this because of what you've watched before. And I had not really heard of it prior to that.
Yeah, I remember when Netflix was making content, and the only original program was like Hemlock Grove, and it was like, I'll watch it because it's new, but I'm not, whatever. But now, every time
Marvel Netflix.
Yeah, every time you put on Netflix, it's just you just see Netflix original everywhere. Even the kids stuff, there's tons of animation and
they're eating it up.
And they just bought Miller World, which is Mark Millar's
Yeah, that's right. And
I'm interested to see what they do with that because his stuff is, in a little bit more adult skewed to begin with, in the vein of if you like the superhero stuff.
Yeah, and they had him on, I think, Fatman on Batman.
Yeah,
I think, at least they talked about this. And the other problem, or the other thing that Netflix is kind of up against, is many of his properties are already licensed out anyway.
Yeah, but are they licensed as TV shows or movies? Like, how did he do the licensing?
I don't know, but I think the way... So now, essentially, what he has to do is create new content for Netflix.
Yeah, or package like Wanted as a TV show and do it as a stricter adaptation than the movie that was done by McAvoy. Than the original, the movie that was made with Angelina Jolie.
Yeah. Yeah.
But basically we got off this tangent because I did work for Amazon on a show called Moses in the Jungle. But as I was working on that, I was offered a lead man position myself, which is, like I said, it's kind of like the top tier you can get with set dressing. I was working for a guy named Chris Kelly, who is the head writer of SNL, and I was his lead man on a pilot that he shot under Lorne Michaels. And
wow.
I worked side by side with the gentleman for 3 weeks. It was the first time I was at the pre-production meetings, meaning like my first day of work, it was me and like 9 other people in a room sitting at a table breaking down the script into how do we get this made.
Wow, big time. Congratulations.
It was a lot of fun because it was new, but it was also fun because the people were great. And I was offered to come help them this season on SNL if I am available.
Oh, my God.
So that is something I may take them up on.
Dude, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Fucking A. Congratulations.
So leaving Marvel led to a lot of nice roads for me, but I'm back home. So as of this week, I took a 2-week vacation with Disney World with the family, came back home.
That's right. Because I remember we talked about, you'll even hear it if you go back and listen to the Iron Fist show that we did. You're like, now next time when the Defenders comes, I'm going on vacation.
That's right. So I was on vacation when it hit, and I started getting the text messages right away. You know, my name appeared in the credits in episode 7 and 8. My friends were sending me the pictures of the credits. You know, everybody's like, "Oh, did you see it?" I'm like, "No, I'm on the Tower of Terror." So no, that's it.
Is that thing still going?
Oh yeah, in Florida, in the Florida park it is. Yeah.
I thought I heard that it closed somewhere.
In Disneyland proper.
Out in Cali, yeah.
Yeah, they made it the Guardians of the Galaxy ride.
Yeah, that's right. They took up that space. That's right. I saw that too in the recent Guardians 2 back the bonus footage.
Yeah. So, but I'm home, so I may be able to talk a little bit with Jessica Lange, not as in depth as I can talk about Defenders, and we'll see how my Luke journey goes from the effects world. You know? Yeah,
I mean, you're gonna be busy for a little bit, man. Dude, congratulations! Are you gonna have time for editing?
Yeah, that's the other thing. I'm back down to my wife yelling at me, get down into the basement.
Yes,
an hour a day. And
seriously, I don't want to be a burden, but at the same time, it's like now would be a good time. All right, we want to take a moment to talk about Death Wish Coffee. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, do yourself a favor and get over to deathwishcoffee.com. And there you can buy the strongest coffee known to man without a prescription.
The world's strongest coffee ever.
Yes, as proudly displayed on my wife's sweatshirt over there.
Yes, on my body, on my mug, on my K-cups.
Yes, and you'll know them by their telling sign of the skull and crossbones that tells you
good.
Exactly what you're in for. That used to be the international symbol for poison, but now it is the symbol for good damn coffee.
It's awesome. Without milk, with milk, you don't really need it because it's strong.
But not bitter?
Not bitter. So you don't even need milk. You don't even need sugar, but you can add it if you'd like. It's just really, really the perfect, strongest, most awesome coffee.
Become a junkie of Death Wish, just like the Anderson Council. And
we got him hooked.
Again, deathwishcoffee.com. Thank you very much.
Enjoy it.
I want to take this time to mention to you www.audibletrial.com/ThatMan on Fatman. That's right, www.audibletrial.com/ThatMan on Fatman. That's one word, conjunctified. Go there, sign up for your free 30-day free trial. Sign up, get a free book, a free audiobook, because you don't have to go through no tedious reading. You don't have to turn no fucking pages. You don't have to do any of that bullshit. You get in your car, you put on your headphones, and you are listening to a book. You're taking a magical journey into a fictitious land. You're expanding your mind, all when you're stuck in traffic. Fucking amazing. Audiobooks. These are the wave of the future. And you can get in for free for 30 days. A free trial. And when you get your free trial, you can download a copy of Tough Shit by our Savior, Kevin Smith. That's right. Our Lord and Savior, Kevin Smith, has left words for us to follow in our lives, and we can get it for free just by signing up to audibletrial.com/ThatManOnFatman. That's right. audibletrial.com/ThatManOnFatman. Thank you. Please sign up. You'll be very happy you did.
I love watching your family in Disney.
All right,
They're
I'll
just
edit
so
this.
cute.
So give her the 10-foot description there again of how your last few weeks have gone, or your last few jobs have gone.
Yeah,
the 10-foot description. You guys know I left Marvel, and I left to go do an Amazon Prime show called Mozart in the Jungle.
Right.
But as I was on that show, I got offered to be a lead man, which is kind of the boss of my department.
Hello.
On a show, on a pilot, Comedy Central pilot that was written by a guy named Chris Kelly. And Chris Kelly happens to be the head writer of SNL, and it's a Lorne Michaels production. And I show up to work, and it's me and 9 people in a room with a script, breaking it down to how we're going to get made. It was the first time I was at that level where it was pre-production, like a week before we're supposed to shoot. Like, now's the nitty gritty.
Who produced this? I'm sorry, who was in the production?
Lorne Michaels.
Lorne Michaels.
You know who he is, right?
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live. And
Chris Kelly is the head writer of SNL. So as I'm doing this job, I struck up a rapport with these guys. They invited me to come join them on SNL this season if I'm available, or if it's something that strikes my fancy.
Isn't that amazing? Although I hear it is a bit of a grind.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's a bit of a grind,
Michael.
and it's a very unusual schedule. So it would not allow you to take kind of like a Monday to Friday job, because they work like a 20-hour Friday. Then they work the Saturday night, and then they do a wrap on Monday, which is like a long day too. So if you have a gig, a steady gig, you kind of have to make a deal with them, like, well, don't expect, I got to leave Friday. It won't be your Monday, kind of thing.
Yeah, they are your steady
Oh my
gig.
God, I'm so excited for you. You deserve everything wonderful. You're a wonderful guy.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you. That's so cool.
No, it's cool. It's cool to have that option. And it's a bucket list item for me, to be honest. I am going to take them up on the offer, even if it's just for one show, just to see what it's like.
Oh,
yeah, definitely. Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, and I like it to be a show with a good guest, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Find out who the fucking guests are if you can.
That's
And be like,
so much fun.
it's Stephen Colbert? Yeah, I'll be on that show. Or,
Very cool.
that kind of thing.
Very cool.
And I'm joining the effects team of Luke Cage starting tomorrow.
Yes. That's the other big thing. So he's moving from one side of his department to a more prestigious side of his department.
Luke Cage, too. Yeah.
So he's still in the same union, but he gets to play with explosives and physical effects now.
So cool.
Yeah. Should be fun.
Oh, man. I love Luke Cage, too. It's a great show.
All right, now that I roped Jean in, we can do Defenders after all, and she'll be here. Because this is the first time that I can really recall she was on board for the entire run.
Oh, my God.
And I will speak volumes to, I think I like the shorter runs.
Oh, I love the shorter run.
I love the 8 run. I love the 8-episode run. You guys might want to look at putting all the seasons into that format, because it really tightens things up.
Well, I can tell you right now, Punisher, which is about to land, which I didn't work on, is a 13-episode show. Jessica is a 13-episode show, which I did work on, and Luke is a 13-episode show. So they only really kept it for the Defenders.
Okay, it's for that that Avenger kind of feel too. It's to give it all action.
Keep that pace up.
Yeah, and it did. It kept the pace up much better. It felt so tight. I liked. I'm giving you my broad sketches here. I liked Iron Fist. I liked the way they used him. Yes. To me, he was redeemed, but I really didn't hate him as much as many others on the internet.
Yes.
Not as much haterade, but I did want more from him. So I'm glad also to see he's getting to season 2.
Yes,
which is announced.
And I can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, now because I remember when we talked Iron Fist, you were like, well, part of it is is sort of a hand was tied behind his back because of Defenders.
Yeah, and as you've seen Defenders, I know that people that listen to your show will understand, I think, more of what I was talking about. Yeah. Where I kind of did the wink of watch Daredevil Season 2 and watch Iron Fist wink to everybody.
Right.
You can actually see Defenders is really a sequel to those. And Jessica and Luke are there. They're really there for the ride. They
But
find
there was a lot of Jessica in the show.
And there's a reason for that.
And I'll tell you what, her chemistry with Daredevil is awesome.
Yeah.
Those two together are good.
They knew going into this was going to set up Jessica season 2, They got her back on her feet, back into a place where now they don't have to deal with that. So Jessica 2 kind of starts off from the get-go of her being at that place where she's ready to work.
Who's the girl who plays Wildcat? Or, the talk show.
The Australian lady, the blonde girl. Yeah.
She is adorable.
She really is.
Yeah,
cute.
she's a really nice person.
Yeah, she seems
really
adorable. I want to eat her up every time she's on fucking camera.
Yeah, and she's back. She's back for season 2 as well. Trinity's back.
Yeah, she's in this, but only a little bit.
Yeah,
like she's only in one scene. When I go back and think about it, it's like, oh yeah, she's in there for only 1 second.
Yeah, she's got a lot to do. She's got a lot to do come season 2. She's they kind of, it's a real, just a hint. This is going to do with the NDA. And this is about Defenders, but Jessica season 2. I worked, like I said, the first 3 to 4 episodes. It's a real sequel to season 1. So if you don't watch Defenders, you could go into Jessica season 2 not have watched it. Cold, and it's Malcolm. It's Jerry Hogarth.
But I will tell you, if you are a fan of her, there's no reason not to watch, because she actually does comedy in this too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they bring her to a better place.
And much better. She comes off a lot
she really
better.
Does. She's very
and
likable.
it shows it as Jessica season 2 starts. You don't have that. I mean, depending on what you want.
But actually, to tell you the truth, I loved Jessica Jones the first season. It may have been, of all the first, origin shows, that still may be my favorite.
And you're not the only one, because it's apparently there was a report that it was the highest rated of the Marvel shows on Netflix.
I can believe that because of women.
Yeah.
There's this whole other half of the population.
Yeah, hello over here. We like things too.
Yeah, and
with
that show is. I mean, when
fucking badass girls.
When I watched it, I said, Gene, you have to watch this show with more.
Oh, my God, I loved her right away.
Because I think all its values and everything,
Yeah.
while it's intense, but ultimately it's good
even
value.
Even like her attitude, like she was a little kind of like, a little
but that's
snarky.
but
she's not as much in Defenders, though. She's a lot softer in Defenders.
But she still is, but it's well timed.
Yeah, it's not
and
the same.
it's got a good underlying moral, the first one.
Well, first of all, let me just put
really
this out
does.
here. Spoilers. There's going to be spoilers in this, and we've waited. We've even given them weeks here.
Right.
So we're going to get into the spoilers because there's stuff I want to touch on in specific episodes and so on and so forth. So
absolutely.
Now, this is the truth. I don't even remember the first episode at all.
It's so good.
Can you believe it? Like, I mean, I just remember, you're kind of laying up the story, but the second episode, that shit's where it started to grab me.
Well, it's probably fresh for Michael because he saw it after. Because
that's when, spoilers, that's when Luke Cage meets Iron Fist, right at the end there.
I love them.
And they go at it.
Yeah, you get your first taste of a team up. The team up,
it's a true.
And they get together. Yeah,
it's a true comic book. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know who you are. Let's fight. Kind of shit. And it's great. And it's funny because Mark Bernardin talked a little bit. He teased that he saw some, and he said that he saw, and all he said was that Luke Cage and Iron Fist get into it. But he said Luke Cage kicked his ass.
But that's not what happened.
Yeah, I didn't feel like that was it. When you come away from that fight, I feel like, Iron Fist held his own as much as he could, and then at the end of the day, put him away.
Yeah, and I did hear that Fatman on Batman, and Bernard is not a big Iron Fist fan, so he's going in there with that screen on.
Yeah, you could tell he's not happy with that character at all.
Yeah, but I was I knew going in. I was there when they shot that sequence. I was on set, and when he said that, it's so hard to just bite your tongue and be like, not go on the internet and be like, no, that's not what happened. You know what I mean?
But I love that scene. As soon as that, and those guys had great chemistry too, which is perfect because they needed it.
Oh yeah, no, they worked a lot. It's so funny behind the scenes. The cast, it wasn't one of these deals where they, one guy was doing his own thing. They were really on set, like a group of friends, all four of them. I mean, there would be heavier moments where they gave Daredevil some heavy stuff to play. Where where Charlie would be. Studying his lines away, but for the most part, they were really very, very chummy backs, and it shows, I think, on screen.
It totally does.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Yeah.
So,
in general, I feel like they all felt less pressure. if that makes sense, because it wasn't their show.
It's more of a group. It's not like each individual, but yeah.
So as a fanboy weenie,
Weenie.
that's where the show started for me. When those two started fighting, like, okay, the series is on. And it's so funny because it did. It like from there on out, it feels like it just went. It just plunged forward, giving you the stuff you needed. Like,
and they played a great magic trick of bringing everybody back.
Yeah,
and a lot of it is, some of it you can say, oh, that's real tongue in cheek. You got all the side characters in the pre-scene at one time, but they gave fan service to each show, which was
definitely. Oh, and I love that. I loved having, and it's sort of like you didn't really realize. Okay, so which one was Night Nurse in? So who did she? Okay, she was in that one. Oh, she wasn't in Jessica Jones, was she? Ah, what's this thing going on here? Is there going to be a love triangle? Because it didn't seem like he didn't have any problem macking on Jessica Jones again.
No, old Flame. The flame was still there, which was nice to see.
Yeah.
The fans want, it's gonna until one of these shows loses popularity, they're not going to have them, together. But there's a world where there's a Jessica Jones season 5 and not a Luke Cage season 4 or something. There's a world where they can build that again.
Oh yeah, or they could still have those characters. They could just be more related to one show or another. Yeah, I mean that's very true.
And there's a good possibility. I'll find out on Luke. I'm really interested to see if Misty is a part of the Luke family again.
Oh, like I said, dude, that was the other thing. Fucking setting up the Misty thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So
that was one of my favorite scenes.
That's another question I wanted to ask you. So does Iron Fist know Tony Stark?
This world,
is that who he's calling?
I'll put it to you this way: with Mr. Loeb, Mr. Loeb has said about the film division, because this is something I actually asked him, and he goes, "That's probably not going to happen."
Because of Disney.
Because of Disney.
And this new Disney thing going on where they're building their own universe. Oh, that sucks.
There is a real animosity between the two divisions.
That sucks.
It's set up in the beginning, and Quesada is involved on both ends. So
because I had heard that there was chances that that this universe could cross into like Infinity Wars and shit.
Well, not the first one.
Oh wow!
None of these guys. Wow. None of these. I mean, we were filming Defenders while they were on, and I could tell you straight up from asking Charlie, if anyone was going to be asked, it would have been Daredevil. He has a cousin, and he goes, "No, man, there was no reach. There was no outreach."
Wow.
So they will not be. And I hope they prove me wrong. I hope maybe they do some reshoots, or maybe they do a little wink, and maybe he was being cheeky, as he's an Irishman, and they have a good.
That would stink, because that's right. Because there was a time when Netflix and Disney were kind of getting cozy.
Yeah.
And it felt like that would be the next, acquisition of Disney.
No, but then Disney, it is what it is, man. The TV universe. It's like when Marvel used to have different imprints, and the X-Men didn't really mix with the Avengers, but they were still part of the Marvel universe.
Yeah, but that's only because. But now they're sort of tied together. You know what I mean? There's not as much reason to be have so much animosity.
Yeah, and they talked about the incident. I mean, so the MCU does exist.
Yeah, the incident is the whole kickoff. That's why I thought there was more of a chance of it all tying together.
But to make it all tie together, it's probably gonna be bigger than you are. It's gonna have to be a much bigger thing than. It just seems like it's a personality clash between higher ups. To be honest,
that stinks.
But it's also scheduling. I mean, they keep these guys busy. I mean, I'll put it to you this way: Track A, which is the show, the way they run these Marvel Netflix shows is they have separate tracks. So Track A was Daredevil 1, Jessica 1, all the season 1s.
Yeah, kind of like they do with the movies. They have for phase 1 and phase 2 and phase 3. Yeah.
So Track A, Jessica season 2 wraps. They're on their last episode right now. So Daredevil season 3 is set to start next month.
Wow.
And that'll be on Track A. Luke is shooting now, and normally they would just run a B track. So after Luke, they would run Iron Fist. But what they want to do is they're going to run a C track. Iron Fist is actually going to start up in October, Iron Fist season 2. So there's going to be 3 Marvel shows running at once. Now, whether that helps them cross over in the TV world, who knows? But it's going to be insane, work-wise. because I was just spending the last 2 days in the Marvel warehouse trying to organize stuff, getting them ready to run a third show.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and Punisher hasn't even landed yet. So, and they have 3 months from air date to announce a season 2.
Didn't you say though that Punisher is going to be sort of more of its own standalone universe?
It is more of its own standalone.
You know what? I like that though. Put that in. That's where it belongs.
Yeah. So but that's going to air, and that'll sure to be announced as a season 2. I'm sure it's going to be popular.
Okay,
but we'll see.
Hang on. Okay, all that is heavy stuff, and that's kind of bad news. But let's get back to the Defenders.
Yes,
because in episode 3, so I'm watching it, and so is Gene, and I'm flashing back, and there's a face that I recognize because when I was a kid, my mom, back when there was only a certain amount of channels. Channel 7 at 1 o'clock, there was a show called All My Children, which was a total soap opera.
Of course.
And at first, Gene said General Hospital. I said, no, All My Children. Who was it, Gene? Oh, wait, I turned your mic down because you went and got coffee.
It was Angie from All My Children.
Hang on, you're still muted. There you go. Angie,
It was Angie. I don't know her real name, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the woman who played her, but I tell you this:
her dimples.
In the little scene that she was, the short scene she was in, as the mom of the thug that Luke was sort of looking over.
Right.
Do you remember this scene?
Yeah, with Debbie Morgan.
Yeah, Debbie Morgan. Okay,
Debbie Morgan.
She wins that scene.
I love her.
Oh, she's a good actress.
Oh my God, man, she ripped my heart out.
Yeah, she's been in many things. Though.
Yeah, she ripped my heart out. I was definitely tearing up by the end of it when she's like, my baby's gone, or whatever the fuck she's saying, man.
Yeah.
I could feel it.
Son.
She was pulling my heartstrings,
All
man.
of her kids had died.
She won that scene without a doubt.
Wow.
That was amazing. So
it was a real nice way to make them have a personal stake quickly with characters you didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody of that caliber to really bring that across.
Yeah.
Like I hadn't seen her in years, but it was so nice to see her, and then like just to watch her rip open my heartstrings.
I know.
It was a cool little scene.
Did a great job.
There was the other thing. I'm not sure when it was. I loved the fact that fucking Stick is so much in it.
Oh God, yeah.
Okay, now there's one shot though that you guys somebody should have looked at again, because after he took you could totally tell his prosthetic was as long as his other arm.
Yeah, that was it was in the Chinese restaurant scene. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I was like, oh no, please cut away from that, or CGI it or something.
Yeah, they tried their best to keep that off camera, but it was. Yeah, even on you can tell it was a little long.
Yeah, well, a little long. You could tell he was holding the stick or something.
Yeah. No, that was a little.
Ironically,
that's a grimace moment for sure.
Yeah, there was one or two of those. Like, no, don't show that hand again. I mean, it was a cool concept. I loved the fact. I loved when he cut it off. To get out of the thing. Because it just reminded me of like, hey, I'm like a fucking I'm a coyote. I'm gnawing my hand off to get out of here. But then, later on, I was like, ooh, that's rough.
Oh, yeah. The funny thing is that the Chinese restaurant is probably our proudest set. That is an old car wash that we completely designed into a Chinese restaurant over the Christmas break of last year. And that build took 3 full weeks to build that set. And we shot there for a good 2 weeks after all those scenes. And it was an empty car wash building, and the reason why we did that is the front of the building is just a big roll gate that a car can crash through.
Really?
And we built a facade so a car can slam into the restaurant.
Oh, fuck. Which was an awesome way to... That's right. I'm like, wait a minute, that's right. That's what happens, isn't it?
Yeah, but everything about that, there's a Citizen Kane shot up on the roof where the camera goes through this neon sign. I was the guy pulling the sign apart as the camera came close. So I was on that roof pulling our pulley design to in time with the camera move so the camera wouldn't A, slam into the neon and break it, and B, so it looks like the sign doesn't split apart in half. So that was fun too. And that was a cold January night.
Was I wrong, or did they actually put Iron Fist in green this time?
Yes. No. There was a constant. There's a reason why.
And I noticed there was a yellow on Luke Cage for sure.
Yeah.
You could never miss it.
There was a concentrated effort. I don't think it worked so well with Jessica because the nature of blue is hard to just film and get.
Uh-huh.
But there was a concentrated effort, particularly before the Chinese restaurant scene, where everything, even characters' clothes working next to them, set dressing, props, was color coded.
Yeah.
When we see Matt for the first time, he's in a red tinted diner, with Karen Page. Everything's red. We shot that on Halloween, by the way. That was the first day of shooting.
Yeah.
Jessica, even when she's in the Library of Congress, we had bankers boxes that we slapped blue labels on. Everything was supposed to be blue. Luke, yellow, Danny, green. They wanted that effect.
Yeah.
And when we made that Chinese restaurant, if you look at those scenes, that Chinese restaurant is a garish wash.
I actually have it paused right now. They're in the Chinese restaurant.
It's a garish wash of colors because it's the first time they all come together as a group after attacking the hand complex in Midland Circle.
Yeah, there's even some fried rice on the table.
Yeah, they end up in a restaurant that's red,
Yeah.
blue, and green. And when we
There's
first
green plants right on the table right there. I'm looking at it. It's paused, but
there's a blue fish tank, the blue light behind them.
I see it. Yeah, I do. As soon as you pointed it out, I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was designed that way specifically because it was like now they're together.
And yellow lights.
So that was definitely a design choice. And in fact, when it was first built, it looked really too bright. And I turned to my boss, who's a guy named Lauren Weeks, who's a production designer, and I go, "This kind of looks like something out of Dick Tracy." And he slams his hand on his head, and he's like, "No, don't say that." I go, "Why?" He goes, "Because Mr. Loeb told me specifically not to make something look like Dick Tracy, because this was the idea from on high was for this to happen, but they didn't want it to be so overt." So
it doesn't look like Dick. Oh, you mean Dick Tracy? Like, I know it's like that movie Dick Tracy.
Yes, yeah. So the scenics then spent another day.
It's funny. I'm thinking like film noir and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. Well, the
yeah, I got you. Like that horrible '80s movie with fucking Madonna in it.
Yeah. But yes, they dulled the colors a lot before we went to shoot there, and it was if they gave us enough time to build it, we normally get a week. We normally get 2-week Christmas break. The whole industry shuts down in New York.
Yeah,
our show was up and running, building that set during our Christmas break.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so that was
triple time or something.
Yeah, no, it was a little extra, but it wasn't. It wasn't
funny as we talked. It just kicked into, since I haven't been playing it. It kicked into the like picture of them all in the elevator.
God, Iron Fist is so fucking hot.
So it was
hot. All those guys are hot.
They're all hot.
Yeah, it was
fun.
fun.
She's hot.
She's totally hot.
That fish tank blow was it happened so quick. They were so worried about that fish tank explosion, and then it's not even a split second. That took us like all day to rig.
I believe
it. It's not even a split second in the show. It's so funny. It's so funny what to worry about.
That's well, anytime you blow anything up.
Yeah, we only had one take of that too, so it was like
Wow,
and no fish were harmed, right?
No fish.
No, what they do is we actually had real fish in there, and then we take out we have a fish wrangler.
Mm-hmm.
We actually have a real fish wrangler.
Mm-hmm.
They come in, and then they put these almost wind up toy fish in there.
Oh wow!
And it's literally like wind up toy fish in there before it explodes.
And they have plastique in them.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was there was charges set, inside the tank. And the charges were so much it actually rocked the fish tank. We don't, it's a facade. There's not a wall behind it. If the camera stays a split longer, the fish tank did not just explode and go down. It actually rocked backwards, and it slammed into a ton of camera equipment behind, and it was a really big mess. But you never see that stuff on camera. Yeah.
So now we're into episode 4, and now episode 3 ends with them all meeting, right?
Episode 3 ends with them all fighting at Midland Circle. Yeah.
Yeah. So them all coming together because Danny Rand's laying it out.
Mm-hmm.
You got what's her name there too. You got fucking. She's already been in episodes, but we haven't talked about her yet. Fucking Sigourney Weaver, yeah.
Oh my
Sigourney
god,
Weaver and Elektra.
I love
And
her in
let me
it.
tell you something about Elektra coming alive.
Cool.
There's another thing I was there for. She comes out of that blood tank.
That's an awesome thing too. That's all of what? Is that the beginning of episode 3 or 4?
I believe it's the beginning of episode 3.
Yeah, 3. They basically do her origin right even before the
Oh
opener.
my god, the woman who plays Elektra.
She was in that.
Gorgeous.
She was literally in that blood tank with the lid closed, and she Ducks are she. You know, the
She's
actress.
first of all, she's gorgeous, amazing, and beautiful.
The one who plays Elektra? Oh my God, that woman
She's
is
got a
so...
sex appeal that flies off the fucking
That
screen.
woman is so
There was
stunning.
literally smoke coming, and they heated the blood for her because it was very cold. I mean, we shot this in the winter.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So, and we were in a warehouse that really didn't have a good air system. You know, an old empty warehouse on a Brooklyn dock somewhere.
Yeah.
So we heat the blood for her, and it's pretty hot. And she was a trooper. And then she gets in there and she does that in one take. And that was all they did because she started freaking out.
Yeah, she does that weird screaming thing.
And that was not acting.
Really? I was going to say, it doesn't. I was going to say, I mean, she's kind of animal there. She's going, I said, God, she's going for it.
No,
I wonder if she might be going for it too much.
No, when she popped out, there was one take and it was her really freaking out. It was, I mean, they do other takes of her just sitting in there and wiping the blood off her face and then, you know, falling out. But for the initial pop up out of that blood, it was really a thing where people on set were kind of like, you know, you really felt bad for her because she did give it her all. You know, she's getting paid well to do her job. But, and it's a high profile gig, but it's kind of,
dude,
it's kind of claustrophobic. It's kind of messed up, you know.
And I dated an actress once. They're kind of crazy.
Yeah, but it was you know, she has a background as a dancer as well, so you know, it's just she was quite a trooper for it. She gained a lot of respect from me and from you know, not that it matters, but she did anyway. And then that whole blood thing was a mess because that tank didn't really hold the blood that well, so it kept seeping on the floor, and you know, and Sigourney's all in white, and it was, I kept looking for the mistake because eventually the whole set almost got filled with like a blood pool that we just had to keep sweeping back and back, but they did a really good job in the editing team hiding that from everybody.
Indeed.
And Sigourney was so nice about it. She was like, "Oh, guys, you know," because there's a whole crew just trying to keep this blood clean in a way, and she was just so appreciative of everybody. It was really nice.
I mean, yeah, it's the core of that character.
Yeah,
it's a nice setup for. Oh my God, what a twist! I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, with the headshot. Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah. Well, just the fact that, well, spoilers. I don't know what episode it is. It's got to be what, second to the end or third from the end.
Yeah, I think it's 6 or 7. Yeah.
Yeah, where it's like, hello, now she. I mean, let's face it, Sigourney Weaver, the big bad guy who they've been building up, is just taken out.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I thought that was really
stabbed in the back.
Mm-hmm. And because you know you have this actress who's been in the other shows, who is physical, can be a physical threat. And, you know, Sigourney, they had to do a little bit of action in the beginning of the show, but, you know, God bless her, she is Ripley, but at the same token, you know, she's more, it was a better way to go for the finale that they were going for.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it worked because, it's one of those things that takes your audience, you know, off guard, off balance.
Yeah, and there's a reason why Madame Gao is very she's a nice old lady. They're not going to really have her do some flipping karate moves.
I love Madame Gao.
Oh, she's great. She escaped. She's back. She'll be back.
Are you the one who told me she's directing some stuff?
No, that wasn't me. I didn't tell you that.
Who the heck said that?
She could be. God bless her if she is.
She may be. I think she may. Someone said that, I thought. I can't remember who it was. I thought it might have been you, but all right. Maybe it wasn't. I wonder who the hell would have told me that, though. Boy. All right. So, yeah. So, episode 4. Again, it's like, so I'm kind of, by the end of episode 4, you got all 4 heroes are together. Mm-hmm. And, you know, again, the chemistry between Luke Cage and Daredevil is awesome. The banter is cute. It's smart.
You mean Luke Cage and Iron Fist?
What did I say? No. I mean Jessica Jones. I'm sorry, Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones and Daredevil.
And Daredevil. Thank you.
Jessica Jones.
What did I say?
You said Luke Cage and Daredevil.
Oh, I meant Jessica Jones and Daredevil.
I know it's hard to get Coulter out of your mind.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at all 4 of them, and that's probably exactly why I said Luke. He's the biggest and the baddest in that fucking shot.
So you meant Jessica Jones.
I meant Jessica Jones and Daredevil.
And Daredevil.
Who in the particular shot I'm looking at, he's wearing her scarf.
You're right.
Yes.
Over his head.
Yes.
Yeah, they added a nice little aside as her being the audience's voice of like, he's the only guy in costume, you know? And I'm glad they used her to address it because it was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was.
So,
but I also think they addressed that pretty well of why he's wearing the costume as well. Right. You know, he feels like he does have more stakes to keep his identity secret than these other guys.
Right.
So Daredevil and Iron Fist, what are they, like 5'8"?
They're Yeah, they're not that tall.
They're not, because next to Luke, granted, he's also a little more forward, but what is he, like 6'4"?
They are taller than me. I would say on their baseball cards they're 5'10", but I would not put them at 5'10" in real life.
Yeah, because I thought I remember he's 6'4".
Yeah, Mike is definitely 6'4".
Yeah, because that's bigger. That's 2 inches bigger than me. So that,
and he's the most well dressed when he shows up to work.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can only imagine what he looks like. Jesus Christ.
Well, Sigourney Weaver had all the smartest outfits, if I must say.
Amazing.
Whoever her wardrobe person was bumping.
She had some amazing.
And that was it. They made a concentrated effort to put the bad guys in white too.
Yeah,
I
noticed that.
That came across.
I noticed it as soon as you said it. I knew she wore a lot of white. Yes.
As soon as you said that, yep.
And her Constantinople references. So she had a very Roman sort of thing going on.
I like
yes,
her.
yes,
great.
Yeah, I liked all that. See, I really liked this. I think it was really tight.
It was done.
It was a good show.
Well,
it was. They redeemed them. They redeemed whatever ill will they got from, I think, Iron Fist.
Dude, when fucking Iron Fist punches the sword on Elektra
and smashes it.
Yeah, when she's about to kill fucking, she's about to kill Daredevil, and he fucking saves the day. I thought that was awesome. See.
And it was nice, them peppering in the size as Elektra's journey continued. They peppered in this idea of once she picked up that size, you realized she was taking her own identity back. And I
also like that they had that racial discussion between Luke and Iron Fist.
Oh yeah, but they had the privilege discussion.
Yeah, that was pretty bold.
Yeah, there's more you could. They basically listen to fan complaints, or they listen to what's out in the world, and they're smart writers. And they said, well, if we're going to have these two guys in a room, this is what's going to have to happen, because if we don't, then we're just ignoring it. And I always felt the Iron Fist casting was the right casting.
Yeah, I agree. Because if you're not going to change it, then you better just go core.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, and but that doesn't mean it's not the world we live in today, and that conversation should happen.
Yeah,
and it's also a superhero show. So as much as you want to say there's more you can do with your fist, we all know it's coming down to fists anyway.
Yeah,
and there was a lot of Kunlun in this too, so I see why it was this is why Iron Fist ended the way it ended.
Yeah, and I kept trying to tell you guys,
I knew it.
Yeah. I kept trying to tell everybody that first season of Iron Fist they were really setting up Defenders. It really handcuffed what they could do with the character. But now going into season 2, I'm hoping that it's just a kung fu chopsaki, crazy balls to the wall action show.
Yeah, but now here's the thing. I mean, if you want to be very reductive about it, the Hand is nothing. I mean, their big secret is zombie ninjas.
Yeah.
When you reduce everything down, it's zombie ninjas. So it's like every video game.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
If they were Nazis, that's the only thing that would be better.
Yeah. And I always said the last scene, it was like that set we made looked like something out of Pirates of the Caribbean with the bones and the water effects off the walls.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And I took those bones home for my kids to play with in the backyard.
So wait, there was one moment. Oh wait, what was it? I said this to Gene, I think. The big styrofoam boulder.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, hey, look, it's a big styrofoam boulder. Look, he's about to set it down. Because you can never hide when you set down a big styrofoam boulder.
No, it's just not enough. It's not enough weight.
It always bounces just a little bit. But granted, I'm looking for it, and I know what to look for. So
yeah,
it looks fine.
But does someone have that boulder somewhere?
That whole set was destroyed, and
really?
Completely destroyed. The only people I think that took stuff home were me. It was me.
Really?
And I got the bones. I had the bones, and the kids played with them for a while during the summer.
That is so funny.
But eventually they had to get thrown in the garbage too, because it was only styrofoam. So the weather wasn't nice to them.
The bones.
The styrofoam bones, Dad.
Yes.
You're so nice.
I have I'll put pictures on Facebook now that the show's been run.
Yeah, that is. So, what can you say about that experience, the Defenders experience? Do you have your kid there? Are they pounding on something?
Yeah.
I can hear it.
My son woke up. He's pounding stuff.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's all right. Sorry.
It's coming through. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm in my little office, and he's banging. I'm up. Maybe I
know exactly where you are. I can vision in my mind down in the basement.
They're cutie pies. A little Moana princess.
Anybody actually, they can check out your basement by going to where, sir?
Two Mics, One Mic.
Yes.
Yay.
On YouTube. We haven't done a show in a while, but the show is alive, just not well.
It is
Yeah.
alive.
The show is alive.
That's actually like BCJ again. Like my
Yeah.
Bone Crushing Juggernaut's alive, but like my
just
son
taken
got
a
a job
little-
now, and
yeah.
so that's cutting in. And
It's taken a little bit too much
There's fault to
Ambien.
be brought on both sides, me and Mike's side.
Hi. Oh, my gosh.
Say
you
hi,
are
Mikey.
cute. Hi,
Okay, now be
cutie
quiet.
pie.
Nope.
Not me.
But it's
Please
me and
don't,
Mike's
can you bother
fault
me?
because, like I said, I gave you my rundown on what's going on with my work. So I was
Damn,
getting
you
very
guys-
busy,
It's exciting.
pulled in a lot of directions. I have the movie to finish editing as well.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So I
And
felt
weren't you involved in making a short too, as well, or was that something else?
Yeah, and I dropped out of that as well. But
Yeah,
It's
because
like I can't do anymore.
How many
I
things
can't.
can
I had
you do?
I overbooked myself.
Yeah,
Right.
I know that feeling, man. I've been there too. Like we've come to the realization that like, okay, we can do one show really good, and then another show is sort of a labor of love.
Yeah, it's hard
but
to
we
do
can't
everything.
do two shows, really well yet. We just don't have the personnel. We don't have the manpower.
Right.
Manpower.
It takes more than
And
just
I have to focus on our movie. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I mean, your movie. And it's not. I don't think
our
it's
movie.
fair
Our movie, yes.
to the movie, and I don't think it's fair to my family to throw myself in so many directions.
Yes,
to be
I
honest.
hear.
And
Absolutely.
Mike himself has some big news, which I won't announce because it's his big news.
Uh-oh.
But he has big news on his good news, not
Yeah,
bad news.
I have a feeling I might know what it is.
It's on his horizon. So there's
Oh my
lots of
God.
life.
Is it
And,
personal?
but the great thing about podcasts is they exist in the ether. So,
Yes.
who knows when somebody's going to hear this? God bless. If they hear it relatively new, I just want to quickly throw in my prayers to the Harvey victims.
I know,
Yeah. Thank you.
We all know that.
Way to
like,
bring it all
Oh,
down.
it's so,
I'm sorry, but I just had to because I know what it was like when Sandy happened.
it's horrible.
Yeah.
And,
Yes,
it
absolutely.
just any good word was nice.
I'm glad you
And
did. Yes.
what I would say to people is, if you can help. If you're local, the best thing me and my wife were able to do that made us feel better about a shitty situation was actually get our hands dirty and help in the cleanup. So
Yeah.
it's a nice soul filling experience if you can
That's
do
true.
that.
We are a podcast, therefore
Yeah.
we are nationwide.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So that's my only thing. If somebody hears this recently, if they hear this 10 years from now, it's just a nice little check mark of where we are
Yeah.
in time
Right.
and space right now.
And if
Yeah.
you can give to the Red Cross, and if you
And
can
that
give
is
to
an
Salvation
amazing disaster. And I
It's
say that in like
unbelievable.
because like WTF moment when it's if it just from an outsider's perspective, it was like Thursday night they started realizing, hey, this thing's becoming a tropical storm.
Right.
Friday, it's like it's
Hurricane.
coming, it's a hurricane. It's only a category 1. Then, oh no, by the time it makes landfall, it's a category 4.
Yeah.
So you figure this fast-moving storm will now go away.
and it's hung around.
Yeah.
But no, then it just, I'm just going to park here.
It just stays
Yeah,
for 5.
crazy.
It's been for 5
And
days.
the
that
reason
things
why
stay there.
we've had sort of great weather in this area
Oh my God.
is because of that.
Today-
Because of this big stall in the jet stream.
Today was so amazing out. It was like the perfect day today.
Yeah, it was.
And then
we were
all
down
I-
in Red Bank.
and then we were
stuff.
even saying
It was
we were
gorgeous.
down,
Atlantic Highlands.
we were down in Atlantic Highlands, and
Yeah.
Scott and I even said something. We're like, "Oh my God, the people down in Texas, like over their weather's so bad, and ours is like amazing. This is crazy."
Yeah. Well, I mean, it all kind of is
And
tied
it totally
together
makes
in
sense.
some weird
It
way.
totally,
It's
like,
a
the
jet stream.
It's so calm here and
Yeah.
like peaceful.
We
and-
really are talking about weather. This is
Yeah,
crazy.
but like in a much grander scale. Much grander scale. I mean,
It's
Hey.
so much more exciting than the Defenders.
I'm
Come
sure
on.
if we go, were there podcasts back when there was Hurricane Katrina? Go back and hear those.
I don't think so. There was just a lot of Kanye saying Bush hates black people.
I know, right? I mean, give me a break.
Let's see, though. That was what? When did that occur? Was that 2005, maybe?
I want to
It
say
was
4.
It was at least like 10 years ago. Oh, more than that.
But it would have to have been after... Wouldn't it have to have been after that first election? Or wouldn't it have been after a second
think
election?
you know
Because that's
what?
like where it really turned
I
on
think
him.
it was 2004 because Maura was like 2.5 and she was born in 2001.
Yeah, because that was Brownie. You're doing a heck of a job.
Yeah.
Time.
It was, it was Katrina was like 2003.
Yeah.
We were down in Disney.
Yeah.
We were in Disney when Katrina
That's
came.
right, because there was almost
Yes.
there was like a bit of
We
a
were like
might
watching it,
swing
and like,
this
holy
way.
fuck! Look at the weather. We're
That's
in freaking
right.
Disney.
That was the last time we were in
Yeah.
Disney, staying at that. What was
Right?
it? The
We stayed at
the sports thing or whatever it was.
That's the one I just stayed at.
Yeah.
Yellowstone
Oh,
Ski.
I was
wow,
just
there you
thinking, you
go.
guys are
Just
so
stayed at
cute
that
at
for 2
Disney.
weeks.
That's where we stayed.
Yeah,
You were there for a while, you guys. Oh my God, you guys are so, my little.
Yeah, no, we took. It was 21 of us. We took,
was-
and nobody
oh my God,
took a really good vacation in a while, so we just kind of made this the one.
21 and like
You
the
know.
little. And then
See,
you
we're
have,
very big into the Disney thing
I
because there's
love
so much
Disney.
to do, and we
Oh
don't
my
drink.
God,
So you get you got plenty of things to do there.
Oh my God, I
Yeah.
was living vicariously through you, and you have your little Moana princess. I was like, oh my God, she's so cute. All you guys are so cute. Your family's huge.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the picture. I'm
Gene
like,
saw some of the pictures on.
Yes,
on the,
you did.
yeah, I'm like, oh my God, your family is enormous. Where are you? Where are you
Yeah,
in
we
this
did the
photo?
luau. That was
yeah,
great.
and the luau.
Oh,
I'm
in
like,
the Polynesian?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
they're-
I
and-
see. I stayed in there as a kid too.
Yeah, and like a sea of like, and they're all like gorgeous people. I'm like, where is Michael? Where is April? Where are you guys? Your family's huge. It was so
On
fun.
our honeymoon, we stayed at the lodge. The
I
great.
would stay at the Wilderness Lodge.
Yeah,
that
the
was
Wilderness
so
Lodge.
much fun. What a great place. There's so
Oh,
much
you are
to do.
Disney people, yeah. See,
Well,
Yeah,
see, but
we
we
don't
haven't
let
been in a
on.
while.
We
No,
don't let on.
See,
I'm
but
a big Disney fan. Good thing I work for the Mouse, but I've been working for the Mouse.
yeah,
so
but
that's good.
that's the
Yes,
thing.
you
We
are.
haven't
Yeah,
been.
exactly. Quasi
See,
I've
but
been
we
working for
haven't been in like.
You're not enough to
10
get a
years.
discount though, because I called and inquired.
That's a good. That's
Dude,
a good.
I
that's a
have
good
some
question.
real. They do some very interesting things there. Like I'll never forget on our honeymoon, this woman like gave us a thing that we just said that we admired. You know what I mean? Like,
Wow.
Yeah,
I-
it was so generous.
and I wonder if like they know that like, oh, this couple honeymoon, blah blah blah. I'll do this. I mean, if there's a slush fund or you know what I mean, you kind of wonder.
Yeah, like they
Yeah,
might
I do
have-
kind of wonder because
yeah.
they don't really seem to like we had some problems with like our dining. We had a dining plan, but they were going through some update in the system, and there was some issues with it, and they just like handed out points like it was candy. Like,
Yeah,
oh, no,
Yeah.
they didn't care.
See,
It
you
just
know?
makes sense
that
to
is
make you happy.
good customer service.
It just makes sense to make you happy because the
Exactly.
alternative is to be like, well, I don't know what I want to do. I want to back
If
it
you
out.
walk away,
Just help the person. Just
it's-
don't
It's like
debate
what
it.
actually Kevin says. If you're nice to
Yeah.
somebody, you stop, you take a picture.
Right.
They'll tell people how
Very
nice
smart.
you were. If you stop
Yeah.
and you shit on somebody, they'll tell 100 people how rotten
Right.
you were.
Yeah.
And soon they're going to make us buy movies on their own streaming service. So,
Yeah, everybody's
how
gonna
nice-
have to see.
that's
That's
how nice
that's
they are.
see. That's what's crazy to me.
Fucking
Like
Disney.
we're all gonna have to buy everyone's extra, OTT channel as they call
I
them
know.
now,
I know.
and it's just gonna be sucky.
Yeah, but it makes
Yeah,
sense.
it's like it
having-
was supposed to be like break the reins of cable.
Yeah,
But
now we're back.
Now we're just like now we're just a la carting everything.
It does
It's
feel
not
like that.
not ideal.
Exactly. I called this a year or two ago.
Not ideal.
See,
No.
but it's Disney.
I saw
though. It
this
makes
coming.
sense. It
I
makes
saw this
sense.
coming.
Disney's smart though.
As
I mean,
soon as
they're-
shows started pulling out of Hulu, because Hulu used to be like essentially if you didn't have time shifting,
right?
Hulu could be your time shift.
Yeah, it's like all your TV
Now,
stuff, right?
now it's all by who wants to use Hulu.
I know.
And I remember I stopped paying for it when the Daily Show went off or whatever it was.
Yeah, I don't even think we have Hulu anymore.
They used to have great free content too on Hulu.
Yeah,
you didn't
they
even
did.
have to subscribe.
Yeah,
did.
but you had to watch it on the internet.
Right.
Yeah.
Like on your computer, you couldn't put it.
Yeah.
You couldn't bring it on your new device on your fan. Like, I'm going to watch it on my TV now.
And I didn't mind that at all. It was fine. But I think like back to Defenders.
Yeah, I want
Yes,
to talk about it
yes,
some more.
yes.
It
Yeah.
is, it's we left off at
We're
Season
around
5.
episode 4, episode 5. So 5. Hang on, actually, shoot, my screensaver just kicked on, and it's of course Netflix original Pee Wee Herman's
Pee-wee's
Big Holiday.
Big Holiday.
I saw that. Joe
something
Manganiello.
good.
I have not even watched that
That's
yet.
Joe Manganiello.
Pretty funny.
Yeah.
Decent.
See, there's so much content
I
now;
knew
it's
BoJack,
becoming
too.
insane.
Yeah.
We just
keeps
had,
us working. I'm
we
happy.
just had we just had Principal
viewing?
Vagina on from
Yes, Rick and Morty.
It was so much fun.
And
listening
also
to
for like F is for
that.
Family,
and F is for Family too. Yeah.
which was like, oh, that's a Netflix original I haven't even seen yet.
Yeah.
All right, so in episode 5, let's look at the quick summary. I got to remember where we are now.
It's the finish at the Chinese restaurant. Electra has crashed through. I mean, the car has crashed through with Jessica,
Yeah,
and Electra has makes her grand entrance, and it cuts to the beginning of that. So it's the fight, between
Luke proves he knows how to take a hit. Oh,
Yeah.
that's the big that's the
that's
end of
when
the
he-
fight that starts in 4.
Okay.
Yes.
I remember
Yeah,
that
that's
now.
them basically busting out of the office building or whatever it is.
Midland Circle office. Yeah.
Yes, Midland Circle. He's like, yes, set number 152.
Yeah, it was a pain in the ass set because that black marmoleum floor kept getting dirty. But that's a big problem. After every single fight take, you'd have to go in there with a wet Swiffer and it's just a pain. Guys, in general, don't design things with shiny black floors. It's a pain in the ass for the crew.
Oh yeah.
Now we don't see Daredevil in Daredevil outfit until 6. Is it?
No, I think 5.
Is it
I think
5? So it is this episode when we finally see him in his outfit.
Yeah,
and I love how she's like nice. What'd she say? Nice ears.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's
God!
like
Yeah,
their
nice
horns.
ears.
Yeah.
I like her though. I like
She's
that.
great. Their
I love
chemistry
her.
is awesome.
I
Those
love her
two.
humor. Her humor is good.
But you needed that outside voice of
Yes.
personal because it's not like we're in the Marvel universe where they're all costumed up. I
Right.
mean, even Iron Fist not costumed up. So you need to acknowledge that here's a guy in a full freaking body armor and mask. You need to.
Yeah, but even earlier, she's like, "I'll punch you so hard you'll see." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Shit like that. She's just got a great energy with him. I just like their dynamic is very interesting.
Yeah.
You should have kept the scarf. The scarf looks better.
You
Yes,
should've kept the
exactly.
scarf.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
There were some moments that were almost like, I would say, Guardians of the Galaxy-esque moments.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It felt like
that's
an
my
MC
favorite knife kind of thing.
Yeah, it felt MCU. Like
Yeah.
the Marvel Netflix shows have felt Marvel Knights. If comic book fans don't know what I'm talking about,
Yes.
Defenders felt MCU. They went more out there in the villains, real supernaturalistic.
Yeah.
They went more heavy with the banter and the lightness that the action show they haven't been doing because everything's been so dour and serious.
Yes, very true. And I'm glad that it did kind of come out of that a bit. It like there were more laughs. There were more and a lot of them again out of Jessica
lot of them were
Jones.
Jessica
It's
Jones.
so
She's
funny,
so
as I'm
funny.
even thinking about them. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
when,
Even Stick,
when
even
she's just
Stick.
like, give me a fucking. She's just like, tell me what I need to know about the fucking hand, and I'll go beat him up or whatever the fuck. It's just like, let's reduce this down to its raw elements.
And even like Stick calling the Iron Fist a thundering dumbass. It's like
yes.
it's like undercut some of these guys a little bit.
Yeah, that was great too. Yes, that's true. And in the end, I knew he wasn't going to die. But,
my God,
they
no.
did leave you like, oh, Daredevil's dead. I'm like, there's a Daredevil season 3. How can this happen?
Yeah, see,
or
now
4, whatever the
But they left you with the Born Again, which was definitely a everybody was really excited. Jeff Loeb was on set for that. He oversaw us
That
dressing
is so
that
cool.
set. He oversaw us making sure that it was they had the issue out
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
of and it doesn't match exact, but it was like this is what we're doing, guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, they're really pulling heavy on the Born Again, and I know a little bit about who's coming back for season 3, and I'll just say that Image is not misleading about what's going to be happening.
Oh, wow. So so they're looking at that book.
Yeah, I know some of the characters that are returning.
Oh,
I'll just put that.
wow. Okay.
So
So for the true geeks out there's some teasers.
yeah. And it was funny. That day was the day we shot Misty. This was, I know what you wanted to go episode by episode. I'm just jumping around.
Yeah, that's fine
okay.
too. I mean, I
That's
just,
okay.
we could do that. It's fine. Go ahead.
We finished this months ago, guys. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
So to me, it's old news. I mean,
And I'm
I
just
watched-
going episode by episode so I don't miss any of the things I was thinking about when I went through them. I'm like, because I didn't take notes, but I really should have, because there was things I remember saying, oh, I got to ask him about that.
The first thing I did when the show hit is I didn't even go look to see the show. I looked to see who found what Easter eggs. And the reason I did this is because I used all of my abilities to try to sneak in as much things as possible. Fans on the crew that knew this material inside and out. And it made me so happy to see that people actually found the Easter eggs I hid in the Misty Knight hospital room.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I everything that they talked about on the board behind Colleen Wing.
Oh, Jean was like out of her mind when that happened.
Are things
my
that
God.
She was so upset when Misty's arm got chopped
God, I
off.
was so upset.
Yeah,
really
like
was.
meanwhile, not knowing it's part of the origin of the character, kind of, sort of.
It made me so sad because I love her. I didn't.
Yeah, and it was brutal too. I mean, it was really brutal.
It was so.
And again,
done,
there you
like,
go.
so
Fucking
brutal.
god
Great.
damn, is she a great actress?
She's an awesome.
Oh, she's good.
She's good, but also Claire. I mean, not Claire. Fucking.
my God.
Why did I call her?
Rosario.
Colleen Wing.
Rosario Dawson.
Rosario.
Yeah.
Oh, Rosario. Yeah.
And the girl who plays Colleen too. I love her too.
Yeah, all of them.
That's going forward, though. I apologize.
Yeah.
I mean, they did kill her in Game of Thrones, so she really got to hold on to this Marvel game.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
That
oh wait,
is true.
she's in this
That's so
episode. She's in.
But yeah,
episode 5.
I put in on the board. I put the year she debuted. I put the initials for Elle Carter, who was the original night nurse in the Marvel Universe, on the board. I put down her creators, Tony Isabella and Avril Jones. I put their names on the board.
Oh wow! Wow!
I put an obscure character who I didn't think anybody would find. And, you know, I should have gave the internet more credit. I put a character, it was a Spider-Man villain named Cardiac, who was a doctor. So I put him on the board as her doctor. And
what's his name? What was his name?
Dr. Cardiac.
I'm drawing a blank right now, but I know.
Hey, Gene, right up there is the Marvel Spider-Man encyclopedia.
Cardiac.
If you pull it down, it goes in alphabetical order. I guarantee a Cardiac. Look, Cardiac will be in there.
Yeah.
Right there. You're looking right in front of you. Right there, yes.
Basically, I went to the internet to see if people found my Easter eggs. And they did. But what I thought was funny is how they thought this might be like a hint at things to come. And I'm like, no, it's just basically a fan putting stuff up, you know? Like they were saying, oh, it's finally confirmed that the original Night Nurse is part of the MCU. And I'm like, well, no, I just kind of put her name there. And then they were like, well, now that Spider-Man is in the Marvel Universe, maybe this is hinting at maybe an appearance by one of his villains. I'm like, no.
She found him.
I just kind of put the name on, you know.
Okay, hang on. I'm pulling up Cardiac here.
Yeah.
I got it. His name was Elias Wortham.
Yes, Wortham.
Amazing Spider-Man, number 344, 1991.
I have it, yeah. It's Dr. E. Wortham.
Yes, Dr. E.
So if you look on the board of that scene, it's my handwriting, and it's all stuff I put.
So it's very good to have a fan.
That is so cool.
Yes.
Like who's on the set dressing there.
Yeah, and I pointed out to Mr. Loeb that I put the creators of Misty Knight, and he was happy about that. He was on set that day. I did not tell him about the other things I put on there. So I'm still working for them. So apparently they're not mad.
Well, as long as it's Marvel deep cuts that makes the fans go, "Holy shit, that's awesome!" Oh god,
that's cool.
And they love you.
They didn't find everything I did because there's also Easter eggs which I haven't seen anybody point out yet, and maybe it's just because they can't tell, but. In the background, when Karen Page and Matt are talking in Karen's office, there's a bulletin board behind Matt in the hallway, and I have the name of the Del Toro family, which is White Tiger, and I also have street gang names like the Razors and stuff that have appeared in Peter Parker Spider-Man books back in the 70s, and no one's pointed out that I put actual Marvel street gang names on her watch board. Or the Angela Del Toro name, which is the name of a character called White Tiger. So they didn't catch all my Easter eggs.
Wow.
So if they touch it, it becomes a prop, and then you can't. That's not your department.
That's not my department. No.
Okay. So I was going to ask about some things like his.
Well, I have touch props because we are kind of we do work in tandem together.
Have you done the stick? Have you touched his Daredevil's sticks?
And I have touched the mask, and I yes. So I have taken the opportunity to kind of interject a helping hand when I could.
Yes. Let me hold the staff, man. I got to hold your sticks. Did you throw them at anybody in the face?
No. I may be a geek, but I am a professional.
You're a professional geek.
Come on, hang on. Hey, stand right there. Now, wait.
And he's very respectful.
I'll be honored to take this one in the face from Daredevil's staff.
See, I didn't get all through.
But I also like working on Defenders because they shot a good chunk of the show in Staten Island, and that was great for me.
Dude, since Daredevils, I've been playing fucking. I had to go and re-download. What was it? The 2 Ultimate Alliance games for the desktop. For what do you call it? The Sony. So I've been playing pretty much Marvel since I've been watching Daredevil. Since I watched The Defenders.
I need to watch Daredevil again.
You
I
need
have
to watch
rewatch it.
You need to watch season 2
Yeah.
because essentially the second half of season 2 is the Elektra arc.
Elektra. I really like Elektra. I really liked him. I really liked Daredevil and Defenders a lot.
Yeah,
and I was like, shit, I really need to watch.
It was
I need to
really
go back
tight.
And watch
It was
Daredevil.
the eight episode thing really helped it too. Made it
was so
nice,
good.
and, like you could sit down and blow it out in
Yep.
what, like 6.5, 7 hours tops.
And I did that day. I mean,
Yeah.
I took a break, but then we sat and we watched the rest of it.
Yeah,
It was good.
and held me the whole time. And a twist ending. And you know, when is that 7 when they decide? Are you still there, man?
No, I'm here.
I'm
I
like,
was letting you
there we
talk.
go.
Doesn't
April
it
actually
have
came
black?
down because Mikey's in my arms and she was
Yeah,
trying to
I heard. But,
and I was like, just leave him.
Such a good boy.
and I love the dialogue between. I love the fact that he tells Daredevil tells what's her name, Claire,
Uh-huh.
his girlfriend,
Uh-huh.
that like this is who I am. You know,
Right.
I love
Karen,
that.
yeah.
Karen, that's right.
Karen, yeah.
Yes. Now, who's now a reporter, as she should be.
Right.
Yes, she's a reporter.
Although,
Came up in your-
dude, fucking, oh man, Foggy is a little
know.
too corporate.
He's too like buttoned up now.
Yeah, I don't.
He's all like buttoned
Like,
up.
God, it was so hard to take.
His hair is kind of
Well,
cute.
he'll be back in season 3, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, I hope he's less of a dick.
I don't think
and
he
he
was
wasn't a
dicky.
dick, but like,
He kind
You
of
did
could
give him
have
the costume.
yeah. I mean,
He could have been worse.
I liked him with his little hair and his.
I know.
you know,
He was he was too buttoned up.
Yeah, I like him more of a
more schlubby. Yeah.
Schlubby lawyer.
She love you that.
Well, just more him. More.
Yeah,
he seemed a little too fake.
Yeah.
Like
That's all right.
like he wasn't being himself.
He was trying to be a grown up. He was trying to be a grown
exactly. Like he's pretending to be a
It's
grown
okay.
up.
It's all right. He's
I guess
kinda
we all
cute.
need to go through that.
All of us
He's got
need
the
to.
girlfriend. He's got the
He
bar.
has
That's
a girl.
right, that's
See, that's the
right.
thing. You can't be a schlub and have a girl like that. Come
Yeah,
on.
and she's
Very cute.
nice.
There's a
not
lot
too
of
shabby.
There's a lot of cuteness and attractive.
She's not my type, but hey,
There's a lot of attractive people in the show.
Yes.
Okay, let's just say that.
yes.
It's very full of
Elektra's
attractive people.
hot.
Elektra is so amazing. I'm
But
telling you this. There are
actually, it's
people-
funny because
She's short. She's short girl in real
She's
life,
very
too.
petite. Very petite. She
we
seems-
watched some of it with our friend Stacy, and so like these two women are oogling Jessica Jones. So
She
I mean
really-
that's
oh my
another
God,
thing.
Jessica
you know?
Jones is.
Did I tell you that Kristen got a dick pic while we were on set?
Holy God! How did she do that?
How? What do you mean?
No, I mean like.
She received one. You're saying, right?
She received the dick pic on her phone while we were on set.
Like
oh,
just
she
randomly.
received one.
Right,
Okay, I
she
thought you
randomly
meant-
receives a dick pic.
Like
while
what do you
on set.
think that she took a picture of her dick? What do you think?
No, and
I-
it was
that's
so
not what I
it,
meant.
it was so shocking to her. She screeched, so everybody turned at her, and then she announced to the crew of what had just happened, and then she kept walking around to the crew, showing everybody the pic and saying, "Could you believe somebody sent me this? Could you
See, but
somebody sent me this?"
that's what I mean. Like, how would she get that? Because it would be somebody she knows that has her number that sent her a dick pic.
Yeah,
That's fucked up.
That's interesting.
This
Who-
was,
so
also
who's-
during the time, this was also during the time I think when the news was out that like celebrity cell phone stuff got leaked or something.
Ah.
I don't know, but it was. She certainly acted like she had not seen this. This.
It was
penis
Chris
before.
Pratt's. I guarantee it was Chris Pratt's. That's probably why That's why what's her name decided to leave him.
Oh
And,
my God! If
no,
only.
I'm kidding. I have no idea
Why
whose
can't
dick it
I get
was.
why
But
can't
that was
I get
a
dick
that's
pic
a
like
random
that?
story from set that's was strange and
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
She was a lot like I've talked before about Kristen. She was really nice on Defenders. I feel like all of them had less weight on their shoulders.
I
Yeah,
totally
yeah,
get
yeah.
that
For
vibe.
themselves on
They were
set,
so much fun.
off set.
It's so weird because that sort of also reminds me of. I mean, we shot them for the documentary, but the girls for the guys we fucked.
Yeah, it was
Exactly.
like
You
that.
know, it was almost like the same thing. It was like the first time they're a little edgier or a little more defensive
right.
because they don't know us, they don't know where we're coming from. Maybe
Well,
we're
I
going to
think-
bury them. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like when
And-
this time everybody you kind of see the same faces. Like I don't expect them to know who I am, but I know they know me by face. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like there's a more comfortability there.
And
Yeah, and
everyone's
plus
more-
they had they had blown up.
Oh my
Their
God,
show
it was
had been,
huge.
so they felt more successful and,
they
more
were
secure in themselves.
And they were more
And
settled
here's a
in.
funny story
Yeah.
about that because as we're shooting episode 7, Iron Fist premieres.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
God,
yeah.
yes.
And as we all know, it doesn't premiere that well. And there was a moment, there was a week or two where Finn was a little depressed.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
remember
why?
we kind of talked a little bit about this.
But why was he
Yeah, I
depressed?
can't remember.
Was the
I
show
think we
good?
Yeah, but yeah, it's fine. Keep going.
But he, and you could see like the other guys were kind of like, like mumbling around, like there was like they would talk and then he'd walk in a room and they'd like quickly like quiet up.
Talking.
Oh my God,
You know
that's
what I mean?
terrible.
So they're trying to tell him like, don't give up, man.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
by the time the rap party comes around and Iron Fist is actually premiered and everybody's got to see it, people are giving him slaps on the back because it came to the realization that, while the show has problems, it was dragged through the mud a little too hard.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was something, it was enjoyable. And
Yeah.
Finn himself is a nice guy, but we had a snow day where we were supposed to shoot and it got snowed out and Finn does some DJing on the side. He invited the
Oh
whole
my
crew
God, how adorable.
to come watch him DJ that night instead. So
He's a
it was,
DJ?
he didn't take it too hard.
Good.
But and he'll be back. So
Yeah, and there you go. There's like, first of all, Defenders.
Yeah.
They used him. They utilized him well. I'm
Yes.
just hoping that they can totally redeem him in season 2.
and costumes coming for season 2.
Oh, yeah, that's the
Yes.
first thing I said. I'm like, I hope he ends in a green costume.
Oh my God,
or
yes.
it seemed like, hey, why don't I ask the guy who does fucking costumes for for Daredevil?
Oh,
Yeah.
Captain Terror.
Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah.
If he's not going up to fucking Stark Tower, of course.
No, there is no Stark Tower.
Yeah. So I guess who's going to make Misty Knight's arm then?
Oh my God, Misty.
Well, Danny is a very rich man.
Yeah,
So-
but you figure he would, go say Mr. Stark. I mean, there's no reason they can't nod that, can't they?
I mean, how many billionaires can there be in the world? That worked out of New York. They have to know each other.
Yeah, so, be like, hey, I know Mr. Stark did this. I mean, it's not like they can't mention it. They
Right.
do mention the other thing.
Did
And
you
they did
say-
mention Hammer Industries in Luke
That's
Cage.
right. Yeah, they did.
No, Hammer Industries, as the props are still in the warehouse. I was handling them today.
That's
We
right.
got attaché cases. So,
I wonder if they'll hire, what's his name, because I would love to see him in the show. The guy who played Hammer.
he's in jail though, right?
What's his name?
Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell's in jail?
No, the guy who played Hammer.
Oh, okay.
Oh
yeah,
my
that's
God,
right. I'm
Sam
like,
Rockwell.
What? Sam Rockwell's in jail?
the
What did I
guy-
miss? Yes, you're right.
Isn't he the guy from Hitchhiker's Guide?
Yes, and he
I love
was
him.
in
He's
Iron
fucking-
Man 2. He plays.
Yes, I
yeah,
love
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I
yes.
love that
And he was
guy.
in a
He's
short.
probably one of my
He was
See,
in
favorite
that's why
actors.
people need to go back. Like, it's so funny. And Iron Man 2 got a lot of shit dumped on it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's not as bad as people think.
No,
I think
this-
it's better than 3.
There's critic waves where I think people, they decide to unanimous. It's like groupthink. It's like sometimes they feel like they have to knock down a peg. And
Yeah.
they overtly, like Marvel, like even without like Iron Fist, controversy in quotes about the casting.
Yeah.
I feel like they were coming at it like, well, they've had too much success. It's time for a knockdown kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
put them
definitely.
in their
Oh, yeah,
place.
because we
Put
need
them
that
in their
narrative.
place. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that then we could say, oh, look, they've rebuilt themselves. They've done
Yeah.
that with Kevin quite a few times.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
So
they
even
have.
though it's
You're
not
right.
as bad as they
Right.
say, it's not like we're watching a X-Men 3 situation.
Yeah.
Right. Okay,
X-Men.
now.
Well,
now
yeah,
I
X-Men
kinda
3,
like-
though, it's so funny how that happened. Because
Yeah.
when Bryan Singer left that movie to go do Superman Returns turned out to be boring.
Yes.
And, like, whoever had to finish X-Men 3 at least was able to polish it up enough.
Who was
Yeah.
Superman in
yeah.
that one?
Make
Who
it
was
their
Superman?
own. Brett Ratner.
That was the guy you liked.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But that
That's the
movie
guy
was
I
so
like.
boring.
I know, but he's so
And
beautiful.
Superman was a super stalker.
He's gorgeous.
Oh.
And
Uh,
apparently,
hair.
like as
Yeah.
Kevin pointed out, like why doesn't
Super
Lois Lane
stalker.
why doesn't Lois Lane remember that he why didn't she accuse him of raping her?
I know,
When did you rape me, Superman? My
He
fucking
was-
kid just pitched a fucking piano across the room.
So funny.
Oh, so funny. Now, okay, let's go back to Defenders really
Okay,
quick, because
yes.
you mentioned Misty, and then I was thinking, oh my God, Iron Fist. You had mentioned that in the comics they get together, right? Is that true?
Well, yeah,
Misty
yes.
and Iron Fist get
Misty
together.
and Iron Fist. Yeah.
I love that.
Well, and there's a
together.
love triangle at one point in
Right.
the comics with Misty and Luke Cage and Iron Fist, isn't there? Am I misremembering
Misty,
this?
Luke Cage, and Iron Fist?
What?
Am I remembering this?
Is that a love?
Iron Fist, Danny Rand and Misty are
we're a big couple for a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
Yeah, and
That's
then
cool.
but there was also a love triangle at one point with Luke Cage. So it was
Luke
like
Cage seems to
Well, here's the
be
thing,
into
you know,
everybody. He seems
With them two-
he does because
It's
he's
almost
into
sad that they're
Jessica
doing
Jones.
season
He's
2
into
of
Night
Luke and
Nurse.
season 2 of Iron Fist
And
instead of one of Heroes for Hire.
I'll tell you that run of the defense or of what Heroes for Hire, whatever you want to call them. Walter Flanagan still remembers all that run very
Really?
warmly. Yeah, because he was like.
Because he liked it.
And because they were still slapping the comic book code on that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was
Right.
no way it was meeting it.
Oh, hi, baby. Hi. Oh, little kids
Do
make
you want us to let you
everything
go?
better.
We've been on probably for a good
This has
hour
been
at
fun.
least.
No. Let's find a nice place to wrap it up. Let's go
Yeah.
talk about it, and then we'll get out. Yeah.
So as the big ending, the twist was first of all, the first twist is like second to the end or something where you guys just kill Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, episode 6.
Oh
the
my
end of
God,
episode 6.
why?
How did she feel about that?
Well, she knew it was coming not from the beginning,
Okay.
but I think around episode 5, she kind of knew they were going to do this.
Okay. Wow, that's weird that you figured she would know her arc.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was very
She
gracious.
even did some kung fu too. I mean, she fought with fucking
Electra.
Yeah.
And that day, that was very piecemeal kung fu fighting. You can tell it in the editing.
Yeah.
It's almost like 2 moves cut, 2 moves.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it was chop, but
I don't blame her.
But it was.
I get it.
She was very
baby.
gracious. She gave a nice speech to everybody,
Aw.
about how much fun she had. And
She's amazing.
it was really nice to have Sigourney on set.
Oh my God! Yes.
Every time she was on set, people were on their best behavior.
I believe it.
They had an icon.
It's like royalty.
That's like what they say about the Beatles when they would bring in
Yeah.
a guest, like when they brought it for Let It Be sessions and shit. Like
Yeah.
all of a sudden everybody's good now.
Everyone's all
Yeah,
like
That's why they brought
proper.
down Billy Cox or whatever.
Yeah, it's so funny because these guys now are big stars to everybody, but the crews that have been running with them, it's like Charlie came off a boardwalk, but it's like it's just Charlie, like
Yeah,
it
it's
was
just a regular guy.
Yeah, that girl, we've seen her around.
He's part of the set. He's part of the show.
They are just as part of everybody. No, like you just walk past them, kind of thing.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
You have somebody like Sigourney Weaver on set, and it's guys that have been in the business a long time. 20 years have never worked with
Or
her.
God, I don't remember the actor's name, but the gentleman who was on Iron Fist, who is like from what do you call it? He was on goddamn his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, even he was so nonchalant
dad?
that it
Really?
wasn't the same thing.
Because he's a heavy actor. He's he's got some.
He's a heavy actor, but he shows up to set on set like he's a working actor. He shows up to set in his sweats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Sigourney comes as a lady, and she leaves as a lady.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
that's her shtick, I guess, or her who she is in real life.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
She
She's a
carried
pro.
that, yeah.
She's a pro.
She is.
So it was one of those things where it was like I don't even think De Niro gets the type of respect that she would get because De Niro's done so much work in New York. People know him. You know what I mean? So it's
fucking
That's
Bobby
true.
D.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
Sigourney is almost a stranger to the New York world. So when she comes in, everybody perks up. You know.
Yeah. Trying
She
to think
did
of
a
who
great
else
job.
might be on the. Who else would that be?
Who was
I've had it
Iron
happen a
Fist
few
dad?
times in my career, and Sigourney was definitely one of them. And the good thing about it is you tend to find the old pros also tend to be some of the nicest people. That's why they're old pros.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, who was Iron Fist dad? Who was that gentleman? What
Oh,
was his name?
he was in. Fuck, he was Faramir.
Oh, that's right.
in
He was
Lord of the
Faramir.
Rings.
That's right. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Which is Boromir's brother.
Yes.
Boromir
right.
was Sean
and I'm sure we
Bean.
went through it as we were watching it, and now I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, I do remember that.
But like that
I
actor.
love seeing
but
people
here's
like
another
that.
thing that I don't know if you know. That same actor,
yes,
he's the guy who survives in 300 and is doing
oh
the
my
narration.
God. I love 300. This
He's
is
the
such
the
fucking cool movie.
yeah.
That's so cool.
The scribe, if you will.
Yeah. I love when people like pop into things that I like from other things I like. It's like
Here's
cool.
another
Everything's,
role
like,
he was in.
meshing.
If you ever see, I liked it. A lot of people did not like it, but the Frankenstein movie with
I wouldn't-
Wolverine. Shoot.
Oh, Van Helsing.
Van Helsing.
I love that.
He's the sidekick in that. He's
I don't remember that.
The nebbish sort of like a tech guy.
Okay.
Essentially.
I don't remember.
That was a fun movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed
Helsing,
it too.
I loved it a lot.
And I know that the director really loved the original Universal Monsters, and it was his sort of homage to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it came across too. That's cool.
Yeah. I think that's actually, you know who produced, it was involved with that?
Yeah.
The guy who was involved with Mallrats, who helped make Mallrats happen, who passed in 2016.
God, the
His
names.
name, it's not going to come to me.
Yeah, it's late in the day too.
Yeah. We'll stick that in post.
Someone's name will just be like just thrown
I feel
in
bad.
there.
You got a lot of editing to do on the thing. On
No,
this
it's
show.
not as bad as you think.
No, it's really not.
And
This is
actually,
just
to tell
fun.
you the truth, I've been getting ahead of episodes now and stuff because we've got a nice backlog. Although I'm putting you ahead because of the timing of the show.
Time the Defenders, yeah.
Yes. If I wait too long, if I left you where you're supposed to be, like Defenders would be gone. We'd be on to whatever the next show.
You're in a nice spot because you can go spoiler heavy now, and it doesn't matter. But basically, so Defenders. Let's see if we can wrap this up.
Dude, I enjoyed it. I think it's definitely like if you're a fan of any of those shows, there's no reason you wouldn't like this.
Yeah,
it's tight, it's fast, it's all action,
and it feels like it felt like a nice ending.
Yeah, like
what they were building.
A palate cleanser, if you will.
And there's action,
so you can
but in a good way.
There's comedy,
yes. And I don't feel like you go like when you watch the Avengers movie, you know the next movie you see, you're like, well, where are the rest of the Avengers? I think this leaves them with their own lives.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So
well, especially fucking
for them to be like, hey, call this guy up, kind of thing.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's why if you don't watch till the end of the last of season 8, to know that Daredevil is still alive. Duh.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love that.
Because I'm like, really? They're going to leave
pretty.
it that cliffhangery? They can't. And I was glad to see him again. Because I'm like, oh, good, okay.
I love
and it's almost like Jessica almost starts exactly where this lets off. I mean, Malcolm is still fixing the apartment on episode 1.
And that was a heavy end there too.
That was.
That was a heavy end. You feel like very emotional there.
Yeah. She had a great character arc. She really did.
She did a great job.
Daredevil's character arc is basically, well, I'll be Daredevil again. So, I mean, everybody knew that was going to happen.
Well, actually, there was more going on there. You're going into that Elektra thing.
Yeah. And then you have Danny's character arc of him becoming a little more confident of what he's supposed to be, which was the basic complaint about season 1 is, who the hell is this guy?
As opposed to the iron fuck up.
Now, see, if that movie...
The only thing I feel Luke gets a little shorted because you leave Luke 1 with him in prison, and I feel like that was a nice hanger for them to go into Luke 2, and they have to kind of write it off right away because Defenders happens. You know what I mean?
But you know what? Here's the thing: every scene with him and fucking Iron Fist is where them developing character is good. It feels as a fan, I was like, oh, they're getting along. They're going to be best friends. This is going to be wonderful.
And the only
it's just like I don't know how they're going to. They start Luke 2 out with him basically. You've already dealt with what the questions that were asked in season 1. So now Luke had I think the least amount of growth. Because he was already fully functional character of who he knew,
Yeah. And the only,
but other than that, they set like I said, they set them off in their own little worlds better than Avengers did.
I just worry about my thing is stop taking heroes' powers away. I hate that. Stop doing that as your fucking narrative arc.
Who are they taking it away from?
Well, they did it to Luke and Luke Cage.
They did when?
Yeah, when they fucking shot him with the bullet that
goes. Yeah, that
the magic bullet.
Yeah, the magic bullet from fucking Snake or whatever his name is.
I'm telling you though, when there's a fucking scene, man, Luke Cage is there. When there's someone,
that's right. He fucking bangs the shit out of that fucking Rosario.
Oh man,
that's right. Okay, that's what I remember from from the first show, from the first episode.
Who fucks Luke Cage. Yes,
yeah, he gives it to her.
And every time I'm like, Luke Cage is always the man. He's fucking hot, man.
Yeah, he banged Jessica in the ass and fucking Jessica Jones. And he's banging.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He's like the player of the show. I mean,
it might be his contract. I gotta ask Mike.
I had to fuck all the girls in the show.
Please do, and tell us first. Don't tell anyone else, because it was so great.
Well, that's a good note to end on, actually.
Yes,
it's always a good note to end on.
Luke Cage.
It's a high note.
Luke Cage.
All right, this was fun. I will talk to you guys soon about.
Congratulations on all that good stuff that you opened with.
Yeah.
And, we'll see you soon.
Okay.
All right. Very good.
Thanks, man.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And there you have our good buddy, Mr. Michael Joseph Consolmagno of the Netflix, the Marvel Netflix, of the Saturday Night Live, possibly, of the all kinds of crazy stuff going on in terms of, and of course of the documentary.
Of the documentary, What's a Podcast? Yes.
So thanks, Michael. We're so glad to have you. Sorry that this may be like the last of the full Marvel Netflix seasons we can talk about, but I mean, we go out on a high note, and we'll get to see maybe a smaller perspective from what will it be? It'll be Jessica Jones season 2, and a little insight into Luke Cage, which now Michael's been at a few days. So because he was like, "Oh, I'm starting tomorrow." When we recorded this,
it's so awesome.
Yeah. So there you go,
Luke Cage.
Congratsia, yes, and the effects team. So he gets to blow shit up.
That is so
practical
cool.
Effects. Yeah.
Luke Cage is so cool.
And next it'll be in digital effects, and then making the big bucks. All right.
You deserve everything great, dude.
Yeah. Well, since this is a holiday weekend and all that, I think we're kind of.
Oh, should we do the Pledge of Allegiance?
No.
I thought you were going to get
It's a Labor Day. It's Labor Day weekend.
Well, you can still labor.
Well, you know what you should do? You should get some pitchforks and storm the Bastille or something.
Bless America. Yep. But I'm very proud of being an American. So
okay. I'm very proud of being organized labor. There you go.
Yeah, but
that's another good reason for Michael Joseph Consolmagno to be on, because is his position in
the labor union.
Yeah, he's in the union.
Absolutely.
So what you heard about was his union experience.
Yeah. So being in a union.
Look for the union labor.
See? Very
when
American.
You are buying a Marvel Netflix.
Yes, Marvel Netflix. That's the other thing.
But there was so much of that disappointing news, though, to hear about the universes, and it's not so cool. But
we've been watching a lot of Marvel movies in the last few days.
Yeah, I've been doing the run just to load my brain up.
Yeah, I like it.
Yes,
I like it.
I've also been playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance, which you can get on PlayStation 4.
So
it's been fun. I haven't played that in a while. It's an old game, but it's one of those fun, empty. It's an empty-headed game. You can play it without a lot of mental investment, but it's fun. It's repetitive, but who cares? It's
it's like a fighting game, right?
No, it's more like it's kind of hard to describe. It's a third-person perspective RPG action adventure thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're standing above your heroes, and you have a team of 4.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's all Marvel. It's fun.
Yeah, why not?
Yes. It doesn't require a lot of you.
Right.
It's not a big emotional investment, and you're essentially building up your hero teams and unlocking things. And
it sounds like you would need to
It's your basic
pay
video game.
Yeah.
It's your basic video game tropes.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Definitely not Mario Kart, the one I like.
No, it's not Mario Kart. It's not even in the same fucking genre. No,
I know.
Except for that is also another, like you're not going to lose sleep over Mario Kart.
Absolutely not. You know? Yes, that's what I like about it.
You're not going to lose a lot of sleep over Ultimate Alliance or Ultimate Alliance 2. Ultimate Alliance 2, superior game.
Really?
Also, as people, if you've seen the movies about Civil War, it's based on the Civil War storyline out of the comics, which is where that comes from.
Very cool. That sounds like it would be fun.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Now, is that one that you've played?
We've also been enjoying Guardians of the Galaxy now that it's available.
God, I love that so much.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Volume 2.
Yeah.
And, of course, Wonder Woman, which is now also available on digital downloads and whatnot.
I think I like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 even more than the first one.
Yeah, me too.
I really do. And it's not even that I like one more.
It's because of the characters. It is a story about... there's a lot going on, but essentially what that is, it's a misfit family story.
Oh my God.
And it's so evident, even more so, if you break it down into its most basic element, like the two sisters, that is two sisters in an abusive relationship with a father.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
When you boil it down like that, it doesn't matter that it's in space or that, you know what I mean? Like that emotional core of their of that dysfunctional relationship penetrates the sci-fi elements, and all
it really
that.
Does.
Same
it makes
thing
it very
with
human.
Yeah, same thing with you blew up you killed my mom and squished my Walkman.
Right.
Shit like that. Just as simple as that. It's like, it cuts through all the crap.
It really does.
It has an emotional core at it. So that's why I think that story penetrates. And here's another thing. With Guardians of the Galaxy, there is zero need for a Fantastic Four in the Marvel universe right now.
Really?
Yeah, I think they really...
Did they take the place of it?
They sort of do. They really do. I mean, they're the team. They're a team of heroes together. Yeah,
Right.
so one's a raccoon or whatever, but they're really doing Fantastic Four right now as Guardians. Yeah, and they'll be in fucking Infinity Wars, which is coming very soon.
Cool.
So.
Oh my god.
Yes. Be some crossover there.
I love Guardians of the Galaxy. Everything about it I love. The music, the fucking
the feelings,
the feelings, so many feelings.
Makes you fucking cry,
yes,
makes you laugh.
And Rooker and fucking
and all the supporting cast.
Sean Gunn.
Sean Gunn. Yep.
And
Captain's
Sean
gonna make
Gunn.
us teach stuff.
Captain's gonna make us teach
Captain's
stuff.
gonna teach stuff.
So awesome.
Yes. Anyway, I guess we're wrapping this out, aren't we?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
So next week, poor woman has had to sit through 2 delays in her show coming out, all because of timing. Which we should also mention, Brian O'Halloran this Wednesday, the 6th. There's a roast.
Right.
Several of the comic book men are on the dais, and so on and so forth. So, if you got nothing else going on, you're in the Atlantic Highlands area. Check it out at the Wine Bar, I believe it is.
Yes, in Atlantic Highlands.
Yes. So we needed time to promote our buddy's event, and also then this very relevant Defenders episode came up and out that we got to get out. But next week, we promise, Stacey Pressman.
Stacey Pressman will be our next guest.
Yes, and it's a really great conversation. Really touches a lot on kind of our Howard background, too.
Yeah.
And again, I would encourage you to go listen to that show as homework.
She's a lot of fun. She's a lot of fun.
For those who didn't do it yet.
Yeah, and check out her podcast. She does it at her place, and they have a party and all that. Sounds like fun.
And this week, you may also, just as a heads up, we have a big Tales from the Swing show, or the other show that we do, where we sit down with Hemda from Keith and the Girl. She's the girl. And her beau, Mr. Hennessy.
Yes.
Yeah. And we have a very interesting conversation about their life and relationship, and, you might learn a thing or two.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
About human sexuality and
it was just a very eye-opening interview. It was great.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Our best probably on that show so far, or most in depth, our heaviest.
Right, it was heavy. It was heavy.
Yeah. Even when you tried to be funny, it was like, wow.
I know.
It was like, oh boy.
But an important thing, because everybody is, doesn't.
As we summed up at one point, everybody is learning still.
Yeah, it's a learning.
Because pronouns, that's one of those things that people fuck up all the time, and
I know.
It's not most of the time not intention.
It's not
just thinking.
It's not. But what's important is to be open to it and to understand why it might be upsetting to the other person, and just
people are like, "What the fuck are they talking about?"
Like
pronouns?
Learning.
They don't even understand.
I know. Just try. Just be open to learn.
All right. So that'll drop sometime this week as well.
Yeah, it'll be great.
We hope you enjoy that.
That will be awesome.
Yes. And what we've also discovered, we should probably say this, is that this show really is, we've returned our focus to this show, trying to put it out on a weekly basis, because it really is our drive, our passion.
Right.
But the other show is really something we love and is much more of a labor of love, and so will be much more, it'll come out maybe more monthly.
Right.
And a little less weekly.
Right.
But as you can tell, we're back on the beam.
And I think with
this show, which is
right, and with the timing of our projects and stuff, the certain shows might intertwine somehow.
Whatever.
It's just going to be, there might be more of a chance to get a guest on the other show.
Yeah.
But right now, our focus is on that man.
Yes, where it should be.
Yeah, and
that's what we've learned. And it's funny because when we put our focus here,
right,
good things happen, and then as a result, good things seem to happen in the other show as a byproduct.
And it's important to nurture the thing that was right in front of us, rather than kind of branch off,
pulling off 5,000 directions.
Right now, we're nurturing this, and it's been.
I have a tendency
good.
to do.
So yeah. So if you have any, if you want to review the show, check out iTunes and you can review it, and send us a message, thatmanproducer@gmail.com. You can send me an email and just say, hey. And, maybe we can get a certain guest that you're interested in. If there's a certain guest you'd like to be on the show, let us know.
That all sounds good. And thank you for all we got some good love over the last show, which was with Principal Vagina.
Yeah.
That
was a really excellent interview. Yeah, I wasn't there.
Hi, Principal Vagina. The name's real, possibly Scandinavian.
It was so funny. It was good.
Now you have to work on, see if you can get
the road your father.
Oh, wait, hang on.
Oh, my God.
In bird culture, this is considered a dick move.
Oh, that's bird person.
Yes.
Yeah, I like bird person.
What am I eating? What is this, bird seed? It is random debris. I found it in my carpet. I don't know what humans eat.
Bird person's great.
It is random debris. I found it in my carpet. I don't know what humans eat.
You know what this human eats.
Don't be gross, Tammy.
Hey, girl. Hey. Oh, my God, I love her.
I am Phoenix person.
All right, well, I would love to have it. I think that's done by the main guy. So
so smart. I just love that show. It's so great.
Yeah, we've been totally in a world where fucking Donald Trump is president. Thank God for Rick and Morty.
I know, Rick and Morty saves
ultimate
the day.
escape.
Rick and Morty saves the day.
Thank you, guys.
Every character.
Thank you to the creators. And you also have to have this guy on.
My main business is real estate. I also own a newspaper and some other websites and online media businesses.
Oh God,
and then, of course, you can follow it up with this.
This is what you do. What you do.
Yes.
And number two, while it is true, the Netanyahu is, in my view, just repeating it doesn't make it true.
Oh, my God.
All right.
So
well, now we're going out with a blast from 5 minutes ago.
So first I have to get Jared Kushner, and then I have to get Bernie Sanders. So it's going to be really
Well, that
hard.
wasn't really Kushner so much. You could actually get, I'd be happy if you got, what's his name? Why can't I think of his name now?
Gilbert Gottfried.
Gilbert Gottfried, thank you.
Oh, my God. He was brilliant when he was on. He was on one of the MSNBC
shows,
MSNBC shows, and they showed...
Yeah, it was weird. It was out of sync, and it was very awkward. They played a clip.
And it was the guy I
fucking
love.
MSNBC here's two things that they're notorious for. When a reporter says that a clip is coming, it's not coming.
God.
And when there's a sound problems.
And the clip came too early.
They need me as a sound man
and
in there
because
I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Right. But there was so on John Oliver, they played that clip of Gilbert Gottfried and Jared.
Morty, suppose you could retrieve your family from Earth, but had to abandon Rick. I could give your loved ones shelter on Bird World, even jobs, possibly as worm ranchers.
Oh, my God.
All right, we should get out of here.
It's so funny.
Are you ready to
Check that
leave?
out.
Are you ready to
I am ready.
Eject?
Right, so check out that. It's funny. Eject.
Ejaculate? Ejaculate?
I know. I have a dirty mind. I go right to ejaculate when you say eject, but sorry. Like eject the...
All right, well, here's what I do have to say. Besides us, you guys are smart and you're good.
Yes.
We certainly are not.
ThatMan on Fatman.
Yeah, you can tell we're just like
baby.
Ooh-ah.
But anyway, we'll catch you next week because
where's my yeah?
No, you don't get it on request. You only get it when it's being used against you.
Oh, sorry.
Please
it's a
join
punishment.
me in the final prayer.
It's a punishment.
Yoga fat, 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 and sorry not sorry. Confetti finger.
Yeah.
And we're out of here. We'll catch you next week. Yes, I faded you out. You're back.
You did it as the last
You can
thing,
say goodbye
so.
now. You're smart and good. We'll catch you next week.
You said it as the last thing, so I had no way to retort.
Yes. Like now.
And sorry not sorry.
Oh shit! It's ThatMan.
Is there something else out there, and just why are we here? Then I see the world will turn, and we must be its guide. Crazy dreams and nonsense schemes, gone comes we must reply. Powers from our mother earth, they'll blow us to our knees. days one by one and smirking like a thief. Sleeping through another night and deepening our peace. Genesis and matter's wake is coming from our sun. Living in this very moment, for this moment's done. But now I see the dawn will come and we are all its guide. Crazy dreams and nonsense schemes, the Godhead in the skies. Powers from our mother earth, it's all we'll ever be. All our souls to bind as one, come join us if you please, if you please. Join another person's eyes, we worship at our shrine. Bursting flowers into bloom, there's no such thing as time. Powers from our mother earth will blow us to our knees. Twisting, turning, minds are burning, join us if you please. And now I see that I am just beginning its demise. Flashing bits of comic light that vanish from the skies. Powers from our mother earth is all we'll ever be. All our souls to bind as one, come join us if you please, if you please. If you please. If you please.
There he is. It's that man standing over Blood Alley Square, protecting us all. Go get him, that man.